Some Halloween football coming your way on 3304 Sports as the Virginia Tech Hokies travel to Louisville, Kentucky to face the Cardinals in an ACC clash. Jake Lyman, Clint McLeod here with you virtually from Blacksburg, getting ready to call this game. Clint, big news came in earlier today as Louisville announced that a lot of their defensive line is not going to be able to play today. We assume some due to injury, but also some due to COVID-19.
Yeah, only one real defensive lineman that's healthy outside of the nose tackle and Goldwire, and that's per year, but missing a lot of talent on that defensive end, especially when it comes to the running game.
And the Cardinals coming into this game 2-4, so really needing to get back on track. They lost 4 straight after their opener with a win against Western Kentucky, then 4 straight losses. Bounced back last week with a big win against Florida State. The Hokies are 3-2 and maybe have to feel fortunate to have that record considering how much struggles they've had in the secondary. But good news today, it seems like they're going to have everybody eligible back there.
Yeah, the only defensive starter on that end for Virginia Tech that's going to be unavailable is Emmanuel Belmar, which is a big blow for that defensive front. Has started almost every game in his Virginia Tech career, has been a huge benefit on that outside in terms of his rushing ability, is supposed to be that next great Virginia Tech pass rusher that they've been so well known in history of producing. So Belmar will be a big blow, but if there's one position that I think Virginia Tech can lose and still make up for it is that defensive end spot. They have Jared Hewitt, Justice Reed, Deshaun Crawford, like a lot of big body depth at that defensive end position.
And they're going to have to play well in all levels of the defense to stop this Cardinals attack on offense. They have some of the best triplets in the entire league, starting with Malik Cunningham at quarterback. Javian Hawkins coming off 174 yards and 3 touchdowns against Florida State last week, good enough to get him ACC running back of the week. But the star is Tutu Atwell on the outside. 450 yards, 5 touchdowns, coming off a season where he set the Louisville single-season record for receiving yards. Those 3 guys are going to be really tough to stop for the Hokies today.
Yeah, entering the season, Atwell ranks 11th in school history in receiving touchdowns. You know, Malik Cunningham, this was hoping to be his real breakout year. Started off well, has more completions so far this season than Virginia Tech quarterback Hendon Hooker had all of last season. But those 3 interceptions against Pitt really kind of staggered his development. And then Javian Hawkins, he has 3 weeks where he has 3 games of 150-plus rushing yards, and then the other weeks he has less than 100. So it's either 150 yards or less than 100. I think Louisville would rather 150, but somewhere in that balance will give them a really good chance against a Virginia Tech defense that has struggled against the run this season, surprisingly.
Definitely Hawkins looking for another big game after his big one last week. We look at the Hokies side now, and despite how good Javian Hawkins has been, he hasn't been the best running back in the ACC this year. That has gone for Khalil Herbert. The Hokies transfer from Kansas this year has come in and just electrified this Hokies running game.
Yeah, nearly 650 rushing yards. We haven't seen rushing ability like this since David Wilson at Virginia Tech. He has just been, you know, it doesn't really matter the makeup of the offensive line as Tenuta has been in and out with COVID-related issues. You hand him the ball in space, and he is so explosive, something that Virginia Tech fans haven't seen in a long time. They've been more reliant on their quarterback to run in the past couple of years. But Khalil Herbert, his teammates are vouching for him for Heisman. He has a lot going for them. Obviously not leading the league in rushing, but because Virginia Tech has played less games, technically he is. But we'll see how he can make up with it. He struggled last week against Wake Forest. First time all season he did not eclipse 100 yards.
Herbert and that offensive line in the first 4 games were dominant. Like you said, last week the running game wasn't quite as dominant. More fell on the shoulders of quarterback Hendon Hooker, and he struggled a little bit, throwing 3 interceptions. Just coming into that game, he had just 2 in his entire career.
Yeah, I would say 2 of those interceptions were really on him. One, late in the game, had to throw up something, got intercepted at the end. You know, you can put a little asterisk next to that one, but the first 2 were clearly his fault. At the end of the first half especially, that was a bone breaker for Virginia Tech. In the red zone, had a potential, and he just overthrew a slant. It got picked. Instead of getting 3 points, they came away with nothing, which was, you know, devastating for Virginia Tech, where the game could have only been separated by 3 points at that point if they had gotten that field goal. So it was just a lot of mental miscues, 10 penalties for over 100 yards. So Virginia Tech beat themselves last week. It was an excellent performance from Wake Forest on that defensive end, but Virginia Tech, you know, just kind of handed them the victory.
Well, the Hokies will look to bounce back from that loss here in Louisville, while the Cardinals look to keep that momentum going from their 48-16 win over Florida State last weekend. We've got a great game coming up. Halloween football. It's going to be a good one. We'll be right back. Jake Lyman, Clint McLeod with you for 3304 Sports. Welcome back as we get you set for Virginia Tech and Louisville on this Halloween Saturday. We were talking in the open, Clint, that the Hokies would finally have a full secondary, but it seems like that's not the case as Jermaine Waller will miss another game, has only played in one game this season.
Yeah, that was against North Carolina, and, he had a big impact in that game despite the shootout. He is able to, you're able to leave him one-on-one with some safety help and being able to, draw some attention elsewhere. But, yeah, non-COVID related, this is similar to the injury that was bothering him last week against Wake Forest. Was supposed to go, he was warming up, and we are just receiving breaking news that he is not able to go.
Going to be tough for this Hokies secondary, not only missing Waller, but the overriding issue for the Hokies is they haven't had Caleb Farley, who possibly their best player on either side of the ball, opted out before the season. We're ready for kickoff. It'll be John Parker Romo kicking it from right to left as the Cardinals will start with the ball. He swings his foot through it, and we are underway as it sails through the back of the end zone, and the Cardinals will start at their own 25. Clint, I'm loving these Cardinals jerseys today. All black for Halloween with the little tints of red there. Pretty spooky what the Cardinals have going on here.
Yeah, my favorite part of the uniform is probably the helmet. At one glance, it looks like it's just all black with no logo, but if you see it perfectly with the sun, you can see like a black taint outline of the logo. I think it's a really good look. A little spooky for Halloween, but Virginia Tech, not as spooky, going with the traditional.
Hokies in their maroon helmets, white jerseys, maroon pants. Starting in the pistol, Cunningham sends Atwell in motion to the near side of the formation, fakes the handoff, pressure coming immediately, and Justice Reed throws down Cunningham deep in the backfield. A sack on the first play of the game.
Wow, we talked about it in the open and how Virginia Tech's pass rush might suffer with the loss of Emmanuel Belmar. First play, Justice Reed, the graduate, the old man, has played 7 years of college football, shows how he still has it and able to get a huge sack on Cunningham.
Reed up to 3.5 sacks on the year. 13-yard loss. It'll be 2nd and 23. Cunningham in the pistol once again. Marshawn Ford moves to his left. Handoff Hawkins, left side stretch play, and he gets a few before meeting a horde of Hokies led by Divine Diablo, the senior safety out of Winston-Salem. So 3rd and long coming up for Louisville. That sack huge there. Hokies had 13 sacks in their first 2 games. Since then, only 5 in the last 3. So good to see the pass rush start to get going once again. 3rd and 15 from their own 15. Ball in the left hash. Cunningham in the shotgun. Handoff, left side, Hawkins once again has it up the sideline, has room. He gets a block, and Taylor finally pushes him out of bounds, but it will be a first down for the Cardinals. Tough break there for the Hokies, although there is a flag on the field.
Yeah, that was just, poor pursuit by Virginia Tech on that one. Ashby got blocked right up the middle. It looks like this play might be coming back pending a holding call, but Virginia Tech had him backed up 3rd and long and just was not able to get the pursuit they usually do.
And they are backing it up. I believe Ashby was the one who was held, so it'll be a 10-yard penalty, and Louisville loses a big play there. However, it is a spot foul, so I believe they're going to gain 5 yards there on the penalty. No, just 1 yard. Never mind. The graphics that we are seeing here virtually from our spot in Blacksburg are not showing the right yardage, but it will be 3rd and 26. Snap, Cunningham in the shotgun. Screen pass out to Hawkins. Has a little bit of room, but not going to get anywhere close to the first down marker. Devin Taylor, the transfer from Illinois State, able to bring him down, and that will bring out the punt unit for Louisville.
Now, something we talked about in the open, the punting unit for Louisville will look a little bit different with their main punter out. We're going to see how Logan Lupo does, backed up already in his end zone, punting from his end zone. We'll see how well this first kick goes. We know how famous Virginia Tech is for their impact on special teams play. This could be the difference with the starting punter out.
Although Justin Fuente is the coach for the Hokies, they still have Beamer ball back when Frank Beamer was the head man in Blacksburg. Lupo gets this one away. Tavion Robinson will take it just across midfield, and good starting field position for Hendon Hooker and the Hokies at their own 48-yard line. So like you mentioned, Ryan Harwell, the starting punter, at least last week for the Cardinals, is ineligible today. He has only taken one more punt than Logan Lupo has this season anyway. So really they've been splitting duties all year. So not a huge loss for the Cardinals, and Lupo gets that one out across midfield. Hooker will start in the shotgun. On the right hash, handoff left side, Herbert has a hole, he's got room, across the 40, 35, 30, and rolled down inside the 25-yard line. Khalil Herbert continuing to do what he does, a huge play to start off the Hokies offense.
You know, we talked about with this Louisville depleted front of their front seven, that Herbert should see a lot of carries, and on the first play, he goes for 28 yards. So expect to see a lot of running from Virginia Tech if it's either Herbert or Hooker.
Hokies already in business. Hooker in the shotgun. Going to bring Trey Turner in motion. Fakes the jet sweep. Handoff Herbert once again up the middle. Runs into a cluster of Cardinals. Gains about 3 before his forward progress is stopped. It'll be about 2nd and 7 from the Cardinals' 22.
Yeah, the only healthy defensive lineman for Louisville comes and makes that play per year. He's going to have a monster gain, particularly stopping the rush, absorbing some of those blocks, allowing the linebackers, if it's Etheridge or Abdullah, to kind of swarm in, because it's going to be a whole gang effort to stop Herbert with a depleted front seven.
2nd and 7 for the Hokies from the left hash. Like you said, Yaya Diaby and Tiberius Peterson, the starting defensive ends, out today. Hooker takes a shotgun snap. Design quarterback run off the left side.
Fumble.
Takes a hit. He lost the ball. Inside the 15, there's a scrum for it. Nobody seems to know who has it, and the Hokies got it back. So Virginia Tech avoids a huge mistake there. Hooker took a big shot right at the sticks along the 15-yard line. Hokies able to jump back on it, though.
Yeah, I think Hooker just got a really lucky bounce when it came down on him. He was almost able to fall on the football. Not much of a fumble per se, because it didn't skip away from him, but extremely lucky for Hooker and company. Almost more reason to hand the ball off to Herbert.
I believe that was the left guard, Laceta Smith, who jumped on it, part of the Vice squad, the Hokies offensive line that has been mauling defensive front sevens all season long. Hooker in the shotgun. Handoff left side for Herbert. Breaks a tackle in the backfield across the 10 and fighting for extra yardage before being thrown out of bounds at about the 8-yard line. Russ Yeast, the senior from Danville, Kentucky, finally able to get him down.
You know, the most concerning thing for Louisville I see on this drive right now is they're stacking the box. They know the run is coming. They had Herbert wrapped up in the backfield. He was just able to split it. But already Virginia Tech has not passed the ball and is marching down the field. 2nd and 2 from the 6-yard line. Hooker left side into the end zone. Touchdown Hokies. Hendon Hooker runs it in himself, and the Hokies making it look easy early, running right down the field. Did not attempt a pass on that drive, just mauling their way into the end zone. And, you know, you talked about this earlier. It all starts with the offensive line and a beautiful seal by James Mitchell. You've seen him all year being able to have a pass catching, but Virginia Tech has had a plethora of tight ends in recent years that have just been so dual threats. You see Dalton Keene in the professionals. You know, James Mitchell is well on his way to that status. And it was just a beautiful seal, allowed Hooker to slide right through the left guard. A well-executed play, great blocking. Mitchell known more for his receiving talents than his blocking, but he's really improved as a blocker and got a big one there. Brian Johnson's extra point up and good. 7-0 Hokies, just under 11 minutes left in the first quarter. We'll take a quick break and get you back to Louisville right after this. Welcome back. Virginia Tech leading Louisville 7-0 after a really just dominant rushing drive. 5 plays, 53 yards, only 2 minutes off the clock. Yeah, it all started with that 30-yard rush from Khalil Herbert. He had 39 of those rushing yards, 28 of them coming on one play. It was just a real dominant performance for Virginia Tech. Exactly what they needed on a first quarter drive coming after an extremely slow week against Wake Forest. John Parker Romo puts that kickoff through the back of the end zone. No chance for Braden Smith once again to try and return it. So the Hokies offense looks good. Like you said, started off with Khalil Herbert getting 39 yards on that first drive. Louisville went backwards on their first drive, so they need to find
a way to find some offensive efficiency here. They have those 3 stars, Cunningham, Hawkins, and Atwell. Didn't really get Atwell involved. We'll see if they open up the passing game here. Cunningham in the pistol. He'll look to throw on first down. Into the flat has Tutu Atwell. Makes a nice move, and he's close to that first down marker as he's thrown out of bounds by Breon Murray and Devin Taylor. So Atwell showing he can get a little bit of space and he can make you pay. I believe it's going to be a first down for the Cardinals.
Yeah, that was just a great start to the drive. You know, I was going to say the one thing that you can't do on first play is surrender a sack, and they just tossed it out into the flat to their playmaker and said, go make a play. Was able to make 2 Hokies miss and gain them a first down, which was huge for the Cardinals to kind of settle into this game.
1st and 10 from the 35 off right hash. Pistol handoff right side. That's going to be Javion Hawkins. And he goes backwards once again, thrown out of bounds for a loss of 2 yards on the play, and that was Murray as well as Divine Diablo coming out of the secondary to make the play.
You know, small sample size so far, but Virginia Tech's rush defense looks extremely good. You know, they're able to move laterally on this possession, and Diablo able to come all the way up from his safety position to drop him for a loss of 2 yards. So extremely impressed with Virginia Tech. You just have to keep it consistent.
Diablo missed some time earlier in the year, able to come back and be a leader in that secondary. 2nd and 13 from the 32. Another stretch play right side once again. Hawkins nowhere to go. Norrell Pollard throws him down at the line of scrimmage, and that's going to bring up 3rd and long once again for this Louisville team that just can't seem to find any rhythm on offense.
Yeah, Norrell Pollard will see a lot more snaps this game with the COVID-related issue for Emmanuel Belmar, but great job from that defensive tackle position, able to just stick your arm out and trip him up at the line of scrimmage.
Pollard got there as well as Mario Kendricks. 3rd and 12 coming up. Ball on the right hash. In the shotgun is Cunningham. 3 receivers in the formation. Snap. Fakes the handoff. Steps up in the pocket. Nowhere to go. It's Justice Reed again. Justice is served in the backfield as he gets his 2nd sack of the day. And now Louisville sends the punt unit out for the 2nd time in 2 series.
Yeah, Justice Reed just went with the old-fashioned bull rush, left one-on-one on the right tackle, and he can beat him every time. He just has the advantage against any one-on-one scenario. His 2nd sack of the day, he's just dominating that offensive line right now.
Loss of 6, 4th and 15, and Lupo back out for his 2nd punt. Clean snap. Gets this one away. Much better this time. Sends Tavion Robinson backwards. Catches it about the 20. Makes a move and thrown out of bounds at the 21-yard line. So a good punt there after not so good on the first attempt. Robinson nowhere to go, and the Hokies will start backed up a little bit. I'd like to give a little shout out to John Laser for that sack call. That's his, not mine. Justice is served, but it works there. His 2nd sack in the first quarter. We're going to take a quick break. Hokies up 7-0. 8 minutes left in the first quarter. Welcome back. Virginia Tech leading Louisville 7-0 here on 3304 Sports. Jake Lyman, Clint McLeod with you for this Halloween matchup between the Cardinals and the Hokies. Clint, Justice Reed, 2nd sack in the first quarter. 4.5 now on the year. The 7th-year defensive end is really making his presence felt today.
Yeah, he's a huge veteran. You know, you could almost call him like an NFL player with how much experience he's accumulated. Played at Youngstown State, then transferred to Florida where he completed his undergrad. Transferred to Virginia Tech again to complete his graduate degree. Just exactly what Justin Hamilton needs.
Hokies will start off their 2nd drive with a little pass out to James Mitchell into the right flat. Gets across the line of scrimmage and across the 25-yard line for a gain of about 5 yards. And it'll be 2nd and 5 coming up. Hendon Hooker rolling out to his right, just dropping that one off. Cardinals offense needs to figure something out when they get back on the field. Just 7 yards combined in their 8 plays so far. Hokies are hoping to go down the field and put more points on the board here. Hooker takes the shotgun snap, fakes the handoff, throws left side for Turner, dives and makes the play across the first down marker at about the 33-yard line. It'll be a first down for Virginia Tech.
You know what I'm noticing out of these pass routes, they're extremely simple. Hendon Hooker struggled a lot last week. You know, the first one was almost like a little shovel pass to James Mitchell that gained 5 yards, a curl route to Trey Turner, just trying to get the ball in the hands of your playmaker, warm up that arm of Hendon Hooker. because he struggled a lot last week, regained that confidence. He looks really sharp to start.
After 5 runs on the first drive, no passes, 2 straight passes to start this one. It'll be another one here. Hooker fake the quarterback draw. Instead, now screen pass out to Mitchell. Has it down the sideline. 40, 45, out to midfield and dragged down there. And the Hokies in business once again. Chandler Jones, the junior cornerback, the one to finally bring him down.
Yeah, how many tight ends in America do you know that they run screen passes for? James Mitchell, the next Dalton Keene at Virginia Tech, is just able to catch the ball in space and just use his leg. He's extremely fast for how tall he is. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just so impressive what Cornelsen is able to do with James Mitchell.
Hokies may be lucky they didn't get called for an eligible man downfield there, as Lucida Smith was about 15 yards downfield. Handoff this time, left side for Raheem Blackshear. Made a nice move to cut back inside and gets himself 8 yards on first down. Looked like he was going to be stacked up for a short gain. Raheem Blackshear, so tough to tackle in the open field.
Yeah, extremely patient. People forget how good Raheem Blackshear is when he transferred into Virginia Tech. First game of the season, it was expected him and Herbert were going to split carries. Obviously, rightfully so, Herbert has earned more, but Blackshear is not to be messed with at that third down running back position. Able to just be so patient and always gains positive yardage.
And Justin Fuentes said Raheem Blackshear missed a lot of practice in the preseason, now finally starting to get into game shape. 2nd and 3, Hooker in the shotgun, Blackshear to his right. 4 receivers in the formation. Turner comes in motion from the near side. Gets it on the jet sweep, and he maneuvers his way across the first down marker up to about the 35-yard line of Louisville. Another first down coming for the Hokies. Louisville with absolutely no answers for the Hokies on either side of the ball right now.
No, and you'd be surprised. It's not just Virginia Tech is not just running it vertically; they're running it laterally, which is something that we were surprised about with such poor effort on the defensive end with all those injuries. You think they would run vertically, but it's also laterally.
They've been spreading out the field so far, and it's worked for the Hokies. On 1st and 10, Hooker in the shotgun going to throw the screen pass out to the near side, and Turner is blown up by Keitrell Clark, the transfer cornerback from Liberty, who Virginia Tech will play next week, able to blow up that screen pass, and that'll be a loss of 2. Hokies moving backwards. 2nd and 12 coming up from the 36. Hooker will have it on the near hash in the shotgun. 3 receivers in the formation. Handoff this time, no, play action. Pressure coming, Hooker steps up, but nowhere to go, and he'll be brought down for another loss as the Louisville defense finally starts to step up. Jack Fagot, the redshirt junior, finally able to make the sack as he came in from his safety position.
Yeah, Fagot had an interception last week. Gets the start because Isaiah Hayes is not playing this week. Fagot, an impact player at that safety position, comes all the way up and does not bite on the play action as he's able to sack Hendon Hooker.
Big sack there. Fagot has 2 career interceptions. First one came against Trevor Lawrence, the presumed number 1 pick in next year's NFL draft. 3rd and 13 from the 37-yard line. Hooker in the shotgun. 4 receivers in the formation. 3-man rush. Hooker takes the snap, steps up. Gonna try and run with it across the 35, 30, and thrown down short of the line to gain, but there is a flag down at the end of the play. Hooker came up about 3 yards short. We'll see what the head referee today has to say. It's going to be face mask, but on Virginia Tech. So we'll see what the Cardinals decide to do here.
Yeah, it looks like it's on Brock Hoffman, just trying to seal that. Hendon Hooker runs behind him, and it looks like a face mask on Hoffman. It looks like Louisville will accept it.
So they're going to try and move the Hokies out of field goal range. As the play had stood, it would have been 4th down from about the 28-yard line. Hokies would have had a 45-yard field goal instead. This will back Tech up. Gonna have to make a play just to give Brian Johnson a chance to make it 10-0.
Yeah, great play on that last one by C.J. Avery, able to fight off the face mask to make the tackle on Hendon Hooker. Great effort by that outside linebacker.
Avery, the senior, making the nice play. 3rd and 28 from the 42-yard line. Handoff, Blackshear. No room to the left. Tries to cut it back inside up the middle and only gains about 2. So Hokies play conservative there on 3rd and 28. And right now it would be a 57-yard field goal. Clint, you think we see Brian Johnson or maybe Oscar Bradburn come out here?
I think they try with Brian Johnson. You know, he hit his career long at 55 with UNC with about 5 yards to spare. You know, only 10-mile-per-hour winds coming from the east to southeast. You know, we'll see. I think Fuente, now with the injury to another Cardinal, Fuente has a minute to think about it, but I don't think it would be extremely rare to see Johnson come out to try and make it a 2-score game.
There is a Cardinal down on the field, so like you said, Fuente kind of getting a free time out here to think over his options. Yeah, right now, Johnson 57 yards out. You would think that he has the leg to do it, but he has missed a few kicks over the last couple of weeks, so the Hokies drive stalling there now leaves them in a little bit of a tough situation. Maybe you just let Bradburn punt it down there, try and get it down close. The Hokies defense has been playing so well. Try and play the field position game. We'll see what Fuente elects to do.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Bradburn comes out either. I think that's the more conservative aspect. Virginia Tech went extremely conservative on that 3rd down and 18. I think you try and pin Louisville back in. Justice Reed has had his way with that offensive line. Louisville has only 7 positive yards. So I think just, you know, pushing them back, I think is better than giving them an open field position at your own 40-yard line where, you know, 2 first downs and they're in field goal range. I think it would be wiser to punt it away, but also I know Brian Johnson has the leg, but he has struggled of late. I think, you know, Johnson, you want a little bit closer to gain that confidence back before you go for a new career long. But, you know, Virginia Tech can be extremely aggressive, especially when it comes to special teams play.
If he makes it, it's a good choice. If he misses it, it's a bad choice. That's how it goes for head coaches. As the Hokies lead 7-0 over Louisville here on Halloween weekend. Virginia Tech trying to bounce back, lost to Wake Forest last week. They're trying to get back in this ACC race. Obviously, you look, Clemson was able to pull off a big win with their backup quarterback today, DJ Uyunglele, coming up big with Trevor Lawrence testing positive for COVID-19. And then you look at Notre Dame playing Georgia Tech right now. They're obviously the 2 favorites, but the Hokies, if they found a way to win out, they would probably still be in that mix.
Yeah, they'd be top 3 or top 4. You know, Virginia Tech has a difficult schedule. They have to play Miami, who is also, you know, exceeded expectations so far in the ACC this season. They also have to play Clemson. It is expected that Trevor Lawrence will be available for that game as it is past the 10-day period. But, you know, things are built up against Virginia Tech in some aspects, but in other ways they have a lot of winnable games. You know, Wake Forest was a winnable game. Did not go Virginia Tech's way. Louisville is obviously an extremely winnable game. Virginia is a winnable game. They are expected to beat Liberty. So really the only 2 question marks left on their schedule is that Miami and that Clemson football game.
Going to be interesting for the Hokies. Like you said, losing that Wake Forest game last week could come back to bite them. A 1-loss team probably could get in, but 2 losses far less likely. Fuente has elected to send the punt unit out as Bradburn will take the snap and boot this one high in the air down towards the Louisville goal line. Dorian Strong makes a jab at it, but it does bounce into the end zone. So kind of a misplay there. It's going to only be about a 20-yard net on that punt.
Yeah, you know, I look like Bradburn just kind of mishit it. You know, he is an extremely gifted punter. We might see him at the next level. You know, he was a finalist or a semifinalist for the Ray Guy Award last year, which is given to the nation's best punter. You know, Bradburn, the Aussie, has an extremely strong leg, but also an extremely precise one. Kind of mishit it on that one, but still net gain 20 yards. That's an extra 20 yards you could have given to Louisville if you missed that field goal.
Cunningham will start from the 20. Fakes the handoff left to Hawkins. Rolls out right. Pressure coming. Throws. Has his man. That's Fitzpatrick. Stiff arms and gets out of bounds across the 30-yard line and out of bounds on the near side here. So a first down there once again for the Cardinals. It seems like the passing game has possibly been a little bit more efficient for this Cardinals team than the running game, as Hawkins has really struggled so far.
Yeah, you know, Virginia Tech's defensive front is almost at full strength. Their linebackers are extremely gifted in Hollyfield and Ashby. And Fitzpatrick, you know, kind of, you know, overshadowed by Atwell, but an extremely gifted receiver on that outside. The redshirt senior can still make plays for this offense.
And a flag did come in late, so we'll see. It's going to be holding on the Cardinals, so they finally get a good play to start off a drive, and now it has to come back. That's going to be on Ian Pfeiffer, the graduate transfer from Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Pfeiffer's the backup tight end. You know, one thing that is kind of overlooked on this Louisville offense is the tight ends and how they're utilized in the red zone. You know, Pfeiffer, a backup tight end, still has 2 receiving touchdowns this season, but, you know, the big guy in there for blocking. You know, it was a pretty easy holding call at the end of the play, cost Louisville a first down.
So it'll be 1st and 7 as it was a spot foul. Handoff right side, and Hawkins thrown down immediately once again. He's really struggled so far. No gain on the play, right back to the line of scrimmage. So the holding penalty could have been worse. They really gained 3 yards on the play and don't lose the down, but would have liked to have the extra yardage that Fitzpatrick was able to gain. 2nd and 7 coming up now. Cunningham in the shotgun. 3 receivers set. Fakes the handoff to Hawkins. Pressure coming off the left side. Throws. Middle. Intercepted. It's Devin Taylor, the transfer from Illinois State, off the right sideline and thrown down. The overthrow from Cunningham right into the arms of number 24 Taylor, and the Hokies take over and continue to dominate this first quarter.
You know, Taylor in there due to the depletion of the missing Jermaine Waller, able to get some more snaps so far this season. You know, it looked like Cunningham took a big hit and just kind of air-mailed that pass. Beautiful play by Virginia Tech, and exactly what they needed after punting it away on the last possession.
Taylor has actually taken over at safety in these last couple of games. Keontae Jenkins, the true freshman, was starting there. Taylor got a chance and has stepped in and has just been a star alongside Divine Diablo, and he makes another huge play there. Hokies will take over 1st and 10 from the Cardinals' 33. Ball will be on the right hash. Hooker in the shotgun. Herbert to his right. 3 receivers all to the near side. Cardinals showing pressure off the near side. Handoff. Herbert finds a cutback lane. Now he has some room up the sideline. 25-20. Flag comes in out of bounds at the 17-yard line. And a mean stare down for Herbert on the sideline. He knocked out of bounds Keytrell Clark and decided to let him hear about it, but this could be coming back, I believe.
Yeah, it's on Trey Turner on that outside. The seal was almost too good for Khalil Herbert, as it was pretty obvious there was a tug of the jersey, but unbelievable running by Herbert. It looked like he'd be stuffed, just able to wiggle his way out and find some room. You're going to see this throughout this game.
So another nice run from Herbert, but that one brought back. It'll be 1st and 10, so happened exactly at the sticks, I believe. Actually, 1st and 12, so maybe a little bit before he got to that first down marker, so Hooker will start there. In the shotgun, 4 receivers in the formation. 3 down linemen for the Cardinals. Changing up the play a little bit as Blackshear will come back in from the outside and stand next to Hooker in the backfield. 5 on the play clock. Snap. Pressure coming. Has time. Throws deep down the middle. Has Turner at the 4. And he's got the catch and ridden down by Russ Yeast. But a huge play from the Hokies. And big play Trey finally lets his presence be felt. He hasn't had those big plays yet this season. That's one that's huge. 1st and goal coming up for the Hokies.
Yeah, it was just a simple post route by Trey Turner, able to split the cornerback and the safety, left on one-on-one coverage in the secondary. It appears with Russ Yeast, and Hooker is just able to put it right in his breadbasket. An easy completion for the Hokies.
Hokies lead 7-0. 1 minute left in the first. Hooker, 1st and goal from the 3. He fakes the handoff up the middle. He has room. He has the goal line. He's in the end zone. Hendon Hooker's 2nd rushing touchdown of the first quarter, and Virginia Tech is pouring it on early. 14-0 Virginia Tech.
Yeah, there was just so much going on in that play. It was a fake jet sweep, still an option to Khalil Herbert, and Hendon Hooker gets his 6th rushing touchdown of the year. He's finally able to bounce back, able to create some good passing plays, but using it primarily with his legs is what he's known for to put the Hokies up 14-0.
Brian Johnson's extra point is good. Center cut, and that will actually make it 14-0. Hokies up 2 touchdowns early thanks to Hendon Hooker's legs, and that one started from the Devin Taylor interception. 53 seconds left in the first quarter. We'll be right back from Louisville. You're listening to Hokies football on 3304 Sports. Welcome back to Louisville. Virginia Tech up 14-0, under a minute left in the first quarter. They get that one thanks to Devin Taylor's interception of Malik Cunningham and finished off by Hendon Hooker's 3-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, I think the highlight of that play, of that drive, was that post route to Trey Turner. Extremely simple route, a deep throw, which Hendon Hooker has been mostly inaccurate with, but is able to get it to, completion to Turner, which set up the 3-yard touchdown run.
Definitely a huge play there, and good to see the Hokies opening up that passing game for really the first time we've seen in a while here. John Parker Romo's kick almost went out of bounds before it got into the end zone, but it snuck inside that pylon, and it'll be a touchback. Louisville starting at their own 25. Cunningham trying to bounce back from that interception. He had a 3-pick game against Pitt, has been really good over these last 3 weeks, but that one just not a good throw, and Taylor took advantage. He'll start in the shotgun all alone. Handoff left side, Hawkins took it, and he's thrown down in the backfield once again. Hokies swarming to the ball carrier on these run plays all day long.
Yeah, that one was finally brought down by Tisdale. 2 arm tackles from Crawford and Connor, not able to bring him down. Still Hawkins only at 5'9", but still so difficult to bring down. It might not be the pure muscle mass, but the speed. You need to wrap him up from below the waist, and that's something that Crawford missed, but thankfully Tisdale was there to complete the job before any net gain.
2nd and 10 coming up from their own 25. Ball in the left hash in the pistol. Cunningham fakes the snap, rolls out left, throws on the run, has Pfeiffer for a first down at the 37-yard line. Just the second first down of the day for these Cardinals, and that will be the last play of this first quarter as Cunningham finally makes a really nice throw there across his body.
Yeah, Louisville loves to run these twin tight end sets with Marshawn Ford and Ian Pfeiffer. There's just so much, they're able to do with it in motion. Offensive coordinator Dwayne Ledford loves to use them in the red zone, and Pfeiffer able to show why he's a valuable aspect to this team.
And a Hokie down, so thought that was going to be the last play of the first quarter, but Jalen Griffin was down on the ground, the defensive end for the Hokies. He jogs off under his own power, seems to be okay. The 6'1", 260-pound junior out of Georgia. And now we will see the first quarter expire. So the Hokies take it all in the first quarter, up 14-0 over the Cardinals. We'll be back with second quarter action right after this on 3304 Sports. Welcome back to Louisville, getting ready to start off the second quarter here on Halloween as Virginia Tech has really just taken over 14-0 thanks to 2 Hendon Hooker touchdown rushes. And now Louisville trying to get some offense going to start the second quarter. Cunningham will throw to start off this second frame, throws left sideline and has his man. That's Marshawn Ford down the sideline, the tight end. Former walk-on made the play, and now Cardinals in business across midfield for the first time.
Yeah, Ford, you usually see his name more in the red zone, but still a big receptor on that far sideline. He led the ACC tight ends in receiving touchdowns last season with 7. Having another strong season this year, the redshirt sophomore, so a lot more growth possible for Ford in his tenure with the Cardinals. 7
touchdowns last season, trying to build on that this year. 1st and 10 from the 39, handoff right side, Hawkins once again, nowhere to go for big number 10. They've really tried to get him involved with a couple of runs here, just has had no chance to get into the open field, just a 1-yard gain there.
Yeah, he has 7 rushes for 9 yards. Not great. An average under 1. So Virginia Tech is, extremely adept at, bringing the linebackers up. That tackle was made by Rayshard Ashby. They're just flying all over this field.
Cunningham will fake it to Hawkins this time. Rolls out right, has a chance to run with it up the sideline. He'll bounce out of bounds, close to the first down marker. Diablo forced him out. And I believe they're going to mark him about a yard short. 3rd down coming up. Under 14 minutes left in the second. Virginia Tech leads Louisville 14-0 here on Halloween. Cardinals moving from right to left now in the second quarter. Big play coming up. 3rd and 1. Cunningham will come out in the pistol once again. Hawkins behind him. 3 receivers in the formation. Looking over to the sidelines for a last-second play call change. 3 seconds on the play clock. Ford steps up closer to the line. Read option at the mesh point, gave it to Hawkins, and nowhere to go. And the Hokies swarm in the backfield. Alan Tisdale made the play, and maybe some confusion for the Cardinals. They're not sure who was supposed to get the ball.
Yeah, it looked like Cunningham couldn't decide until the last second. Tisdale and Barno just got immediate pressure. He wanted to keep it, but then they were both sliding right, and he finally, kept it in the chest of Hawkins, and it was just completely blown up by Virginia Tech.
They're going to go for it here. 4th and 1 in the pistol. Hawkins the lone setback. Atwell comes in motion. Handoff. Hawkins right side. Stuffed in the backfield. Hokies come up with the big play. It's Tisdale once again, who is flying all over the field right now.
We've called his name at least 3 or 4 times the first 3 drives. He is just so adept in being able to get pressure from that inside linebacker position. He just extremely gifted for Tisdale and able to show why with another 4th down stop. 2
straight plays from Tisdale, but a flag comes in, a chop block on Louisville. That'll be declined. Hokies take over on downs. What a huge stand there. 3rd and 1. Tisdale able to step up and make the stop on Hawkins on the read option, and then does it again on the straight run. You see some Hokie fans making the road trip up to Louisville, and they are very pleased with the product they're seeing right now. Hokies up 14-0, 2.5 minutes in to the second quarter. They take over on downs when we come back on 33-0 Sports. Back in Louisville early in the second quarter, Hokies already up 14-0, making a huge stop on 4th down, and the Hokies take over at their own 32-yard line. Hooker in the shotgun on 1st and 10, ball in the left hash. 3 down linemen for the Cardinals. 3 receivers in the formation for the Hokies, all to the right. Hooker takes a snap, runs right, now tries to throw deep downfield, has Trey Turner, and he has room up the middle of the field, across midfield, and down inside the 40-yard line to the Louisville 34. Hooker took a shot while making that throw, kind of a little bit of a dead duck in the air, but Turner comes back to the football and makes another huge play.
Yeah, that play was all Trey Turner being able to locate the football and come back to his quarterback when he was in danger. Like you said, kind of a dead duck, a broken play, but Trey Turner able to turn it into 30 yards. He was left wide open, so it didn't matter if it was a perfect spiral or it was a duck up there. He would have made the catch.
Nobody there for Louisville. 1st and 10 from the 34. Hooker in the shotgun. Handoff. Herbert up the middle. Bounces off a tackle and has room up the right side. 20, 15, 10. Dragged down inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal coming for the Hokies once again. 2 plays and they're already inside the 10-yard line.
Another great run by Khalil Herbert. Patient as he bounces off of Darrisaw on that right guard position. And once he gets in the opening, he is wide open.
Quick moving up to the line of scrimmage once again. 1st and goal from the 6. Handoff left side. Herbert cuts back up the middle. Has about 3, maybe 4. And 2nd and goal coming up.
Herbert rushed for about 78 yards last week against Wake Forest. So far, with about 4 minutes gone in the second quarter, he's up to 80. So, a potential huge day for Khalil Herbert, already improving on what struggled last week against Wake Forest.
The Herbert for Heisman campaign continues to grow. Under 11 minutes left in the second quarter, Hokies lead 14-0. 2nd and goal from the 2. Turner in motion. Handoff, Herbert once again. Nowhere to go this time. Dives forward, maybe gets to the 1-yard line. But the Cardinals trying to make a huge stand. 3rd and goal coming up.
Yeah, nice play by Abdullah, able to shed the block from the tight end, Nick Gallo. That's the 2nd tackle in a row, stuffing Herbert at the goal line. So Abdullah, such a banged-up defensive front. Abdullah, one of the only people that is healthy right now for Louisville, making his impact felt within the 5.
Big play there. 3rd and goal from the 1. Handoff. No, fake. Hooker trying to get to the end zone for the 3rd time, and he can't. A huge play from Chandler Jones, the cornerback, stepping up, filling a gap, and stopping Hooker inches shy of the goal line. He was trying to get in there for his 3rd touchdown of the first half. Could not get there.
Now, if you're Virginia Tech, do you go for it 4th and goal on about the half-yard line, or do you kick the field goal to just secure a 3-possession game?
Fuente went conservative earlier in the game when they had 4th down from the Cardinals' 40-yard line and punted it. It looks like he's going to get a little more aggressive here. 4th and goal. 9.5 left in the half. Tech up 14-0. Turner in motion again. Fakes it. Hooker dives over the pile and in. 3 touchdowns for Hendon Hooker on the ground in this first half. Virginia Tech up 20-0.
Hendon Hooker, what a resurgence, as one would say, after a difficult loss to Wake Forest. Dives over the pylon. You can't stop him traditionally when he's on the ground. How about when he goes off the ground? His 3rd touchdown run of the game, bringing his total to 7 touchdowns on the season. He's just such a dual threat quarterback. The highlight was that 30-yard pass play to Trey Turner, but able to get it done once again when it matters inside the 5-yard line.
Johnson tacks on the extra point as Hooker soars through the air on 4th down and goal, gets into the end zone. Virginia Tech up huge, 21-0, under 10 minutes left in the first half. You're listening to Virginia Tech football on 3304 Sports. Welcome back to Louisville. Virginia Tech up 21-0 here on 3304 Sports. Jake Lyman, Clint McLeod with you as Virginia Tech will kick this one away. John Parker Romo sends it deep. Finally, a chance to return for the Cardinals, and that'll be Braden Smith, the transfer, taking it out. He'll get up the right sideline, across the 20 to about the 24-yard line. Flag comes in late.
Yeah, we'll see what the call is on this one. It might be, either a horse collar or a face mask on the tackle by Tremarnie Connor, and that's what it appears it might be. Yes, it will. It will be a face mask on Tremarnie Connor, the defensive back for Virginia Tech. The starter, usually, you had him wrapped up inside the 20, but that gives, Louisville a beautiful starting position.
Exactly what the Cardinals needed. Down 3 scores here at home on Halloween. They'll start at their own 38-yard line. Malik Cunningham has really struggled so far. He hasn't been able to get it going in the air, hasn't been able to get it going on the ground. So the Hokies defense has really stepped up, had the big 4th down stop the last time this offense was out there. So we'll see what the Cardinals attempt to do here. Cunningham in the pistol once again. Hawkins the lone setback. Fakes the handoff. Going to try and throw it this time. Pressure off the far side. And incomplete as he threw it over to Des Fitzpatrick right in the middle of the field. Just not a great throw there.
Yeah, it looked like it was a little bit behind him. Fitzpatrick is so agile, able to almost adjust to catch it, but not a great throw from Cunningham. Just nothing has been really going Louisville's way if it's on the ground or through the air to start in the first half.
Negative yards rushing. 12 carries, negative 4 yards for the Cardinals so far. They'll be in the pistol here on 2nd and 10. Handoff this time. About a 4-yard gain up the middle for Berkeley. And a 3rd and 6 coming up. So finally a positive gain in there, and funny that it happens with Javian Hawkins on the bench.
Yeah, Berkeley is someone that we haven't really called so far this season. It's been a combination of Hawkins and Hall, but Berkeley able to, he's more of a power rusher just by, you can look at him, his build. He's a little bit more powerful, a little bit taller than Hawkins is able to wrestle his way up for positive yardage, which is rare so far for Louisville.
He'll stay in the game on 3rd down, motions out to the far side of the formation. Tech brings pressure on 3rd down. Cunningham rolls right, throws right, has Atwell across the 45 and thrown out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Justin Hamilton not happy on the sidelines over there. And finally, Louisville starting to show some life offensively. They crossed midfield on the last drive, came up short on that 4th down, and now Tutu Atwell finally gets his first big play of the day.
Yeah, it was just a simple crossing route going from left to right, from near sideline to far, and it was just beneficial that Cunningham was rolling out to the far sideline, able to find Atwell in stride. And we called his name on the first possession. This is the first time we've called his name since.
Atwell comes in motion on 1st and 10 this time. He'll get the pass in the right flat, and he gets across the line of scrimmage, but Rayshard Ashby, the star senior linebacker, able to make the play. Flag in late on that one, and it's coming back. It's going to be a holding call on the Cardinals, so big loss there. Finally getting some rhythm offensively, the big play to Atwell, and now they have to move backwards by 10 yards. That's on number 56. That's the freshman Renato Brown at right tackle. So 1st and 20 coming up from midfield. Just under 8 minutes left in the first half. Virginia Tech up 21-0. courtesy of 3 Hendon Hooker rushing touchdowns. Louisville has the turnover with the interception by Devin Taylor, and then just had a turnover on downs on their last possession. 1st and 20. Cunningham in the shotgun. Pressure coming up the middle. Picked up by Louisville. Throws left side, almost intercepted once again by the Hokies. That's Armani Chapman, who jumped up and had it go off his fingertips. Late flag came in from that side of the field in the secondary. Possible we see maybe pass interference or defensive holding here. And that's what it's going to be, defensive holding on Virginia Tech. And that's tough there. 1st and 20 would have been 2nd and 20, and now that's an automatic first down.
Yeah, we thought it was a great play from Chapman. Almost was, but, it was a result of a holding call, able to put him in that position. I think a pretty obvious call for the official on that sideline in perfect position. It looked like Chapman was just kind of holding the jersey back, able to give himself that extra position. Good recognition from Cunningham, just throwing it in that direction as Chapman could do nothing but hold.
So these last 2 penalties cancel each other out basically, and we've got 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line once again. Cunningham in the pistol, hands off right side. That's Berkeley once again. Finds a seam, but Tisdale grabs his right leg and gets him down before he can turn it into a big gain. About 5 yards on the play up to the Hokies' 35-yard line. Clock rolling, 7:20 left in this first half. Hokies up 21-0, trying to get their 4th win of the season. It's been an up-and-down year for the Hokies. Started off with 2 wins, then a tough loss, missing much of their secondary against North Carolina. Followed that up with a big win against Boston College, and then last week's tough defeat on the road against Wake Forest. Cunningham, 2nd and 5. Fakes the handoff, throws left sideline, has Fitzpatrick. Missed tackle by Connor, inside the 20 and down to the 14-yard line. Fitzpatrick makes a big play, and the Cardinals finally get into the red zone, a chance to put points on the board for the first time today.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick just extremely agile, able to shed the tackle from Connor. We knew that Louisville wasn't going to stay down forever. It would just be a matter of time, but, definitely a little bit later than what Louisville would have liked. But Malik Cunningham starting to get in a rhythm.
He'll take the snap on 1st and 10 from the 14. Steps up in the pocket, throws, end zone, touchdown. Marshawn Ford, the tight end, makes the diving grab in the middle of the end zone, and the Hokies' lead is cut to 15 on the first touchdown of the day from Louisville.
Yeah, once again, it was the tight end. We touched on them earlier. Huge red zone threats. The first play in the red zone targeted at the tight end, led the ACC in touchdown receptions last season. That's his 5th so far this season. So Louisville getting back to what they know best, and that's finding the tight ends in the red zone.
Malik Cunningham make a few big plays on that drive, and the extra point up and good from James Turner. 21-7, Louisville trying to claw their way back into this one. 6:19 remaining in the first half. We'll be right back on 3304 Sports. Welcome back as Louisville cuts into the Virginia Tech lead. Was 21-0, now 21-7 thanks to the Malik Cunningham to Marshawn Ford 14-yard touchdown pass. And the Hokies will get the ball back, trying to answer and extend that lead back. We were mentioning during the break, Hendon Hooker, those 3 rushing touchdowns that he has actually ties a Virginia Tech record for rushing touchdowns by a quarterback. And one more, he could break that and put his name at the top of the list.
Yeah, this is the 2nd time this season he's tied that record. He had 3 rushing touchdowns against Boston College, had 3 rushing touchdowns here in the first quarter, so still 3 quarters to go to break that record. Obviously probably not on his mind, but in the red zone, either Herbert, Turner, or a Hooker off the run is extremely dangerous, and every now and then you'll see James Mitchell take a handoff. So there are 4 people that could beat you up in the goal line.
Tight end jet sweeps are something that we often see from the Brad Cornelson offense. And you look at the rushing numbers for the Hokies, 126 yards, so well on their way to 150 in this first half. One thing is similar between the Hokies' 3 wins this season. They've had 300 yards rushing in every one of them. We'll see if that trend continues. Pooch kick here after the touchdown. It's going to be taken by Keyshawn King at the 15-yard line. Across the 30, I think he lost the ball. He did. Ball came out at the end, but the Hokies fell on it. Dax Hollyfield, great awareness to get on top of that football. Could have been a huge momentum swing if Louisville was able to take that one.
Yeah, this is some of the first action of the year for Keyshawn King. We saw him a lot last year. One reason why he didn't see as much action last year as some might have hoped, ball security issues. First touch of the game, ball security issues. So we'll see how much we really see from him. Extremely talented, but has the possibility of putting the ball on the ground. Lucky for the Hokies, Hollyfield was there to jump on it.
King will head over to the sideline. Blackshear will start as the running back. In the pistol, Hooker hands to Blackshear, has room off the left side. Bowls through a tackle and gets about 8 yards. Hokies sideline fired up after that one. The shifty Blackshear, not known to be a power back, just mows down Chandler Jones on that left side. 9-yard gain, Hokies with second and short coming up.
Yeah, he's only 5'9", 194 pounds, able to lower the shoulders and gain a few more yards, and obviously the sideline loves the physicality.
He fake handoff to him this time. Hooker goes up the middle and sandwich between two Cardinals defenders. Looks like it was C.J. Avery and Rajay Burns who were able to make the play there. Burns kind of the strangest position that we see. He's an outside linebacker who also returns punts for the Cardinals. Not sure you see that anywhere else in the entire country, but he does both well and made a nice play there. 3rd and 2 from the Hokies' 43-yard line. Hooker in the shotgun. Thought about running it, stepped up in the pocket and took a huge hit from C.J. Avery. A sack there, and the Cardinals are fired up right now. 5 minutes left in this first half. Hokies up by 14, but now Malik Cunningham and this offense have just gotten fired up with their first score and now have a chance to go get it back to a one-score game.
Yeah, this is the problem with RPO options. Sometimes they can take a while to develop, and Hendon Hooker absolutely got popped by C.J. Avery. He barely saw it coming. He was still looking downfield off of the RPO option, and he paid the price.
Hooker got up from it, though, which is good. Bradburn boots away the punt. Rajay Burns back to take it. He'll get it at the 18-yard line, and the linebacker calls for a fair catch. So that is where Malik Cunningham and this Louisville offense will start their next series. 4.5 minutes left in this first half. A chance to go cut into this lead even more. It was all Hokies in the first quarter, but now Cardinals knocking on the door. We'll be right back on 3304 Sports. Back in Louisville, Hokies got out to a 21-0 start on the back of Hendon Hooker's 3 rushing touchdowns, but Louisville just cut it to 14 and getting the ball back on their own 18-yard line. Cunningham will start in the shotgun. He'll drop back, throw, and Ian Pfeiffer, the intended receiver, knocked away by Chamari Connor. Nice play there, and brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, great pursuit. He read it all the way, was able to jump in front of it, get a hand in there. Connor struggled on the last drive, was the victim of that holding call, able to make it up already first down inside the 20-yard line. So great bounce back play by Connor. Has had some issues getting burnt over the top this season, especially against North Carolina, but a great nickel cornerback underneath.
Incomplete pass starts the drive. Cunningham in the shotgun. Hawkins to his left. Ball in the right hash. Little toss pass to Atwell, who came in motion. Tries to get the edge, but a great job over there by Connor once again, forcing him out of bounds. And that'll be a loss of 1. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Did Atwell.
Yeah, that was a lot of running for Atwell for only, it looked like no gain on that one. Another great pursuit by Connor coming off of the edge, not biting for the initial loss, able to pursue him to the sideline and pin him between it, where he either steps out of bounds or he takes a loss. Great job by Connor. A lot of defenders will go for that tackle for loss.
2 great plays to start off this drive from Chamari Connor. Clock under 4 minutes left in the half. Cunningham in the shotgun. 3rd and 8 coming up. Snap. Goes left. Option pitch. Has Hawkins, and he has room. First down and more. 35, and finally dragged down by Breon Murray at the 40-yard line. It looked like that play was going to get blown up in the backfield, but Javion Hawkins found a little bit of a gap and got himself almost 20 yards.
I do not know how Cunningham was able to pitch that ball. He took a huge shot from Amari Bono, but this was one of the only positive rushes on the day for Javion Hawkins. Went for 20 yards. Maybe this will be able to get him back into that groove where he's finally able to be an impact player on this game.
1st and 10 coming up for the Cardinals from their own 40-yard line. 3 minutes left in the first half. Cunningham, screen pass, Fitzpatrick, knocked in the air, intercepted The Hokies take it away. And it's Divine Diablo, the senior safety, gets it on the tip drill, and the Hokies flip the script. They'll have the ball back in Louisville territory with 3 minutes left in the half.
Great concentration by Divine Diablo. That ball was tipped about 4 times. That was at the hands of Des Fitzpatrick, is able to continue to tip it up instead of trying to corral it. Unlucky break for Malik Cunningham. I don't think that interception's on him.
No, not going to count. It will count towards him, though. He went off the hands of Amari Barno, Des Fitzpatrick, Chamari Connor, and then finally into the hands of Divine Diablo. And the Hokies take over at the 36-yard line. Starting off with a handoff, Herbert left side, patient, trying to find a hole, but one will not pop up for him, and he's dragged down in the backfield. Believe that will be the nose guard, Jared Goldwire, who is able to make the play.
Yeah, we haven't called Goldwire's name as much as we would have liked in this one. One of the few defensive linemen still healthy. He's been absorbing a lot of those double teams from the Virginia Tech offensive linemen, finally able to break free and stop Herbert for one of the only times today that it did not go for positive yardage.
Herbert was able to get back to the line of scrimmage there, so 2nd and 10 for the Hokies. Herbert gets the handoff left side this time, and in the backfield once again, this time it's Rajay Burns who drags him down for a loss of 1. So finally closing in on this rushing attack, maybe a chance for the Hokies to open it up in the passing game.
Yeah, we called Rajay Burns' name last possession for his sack on Hendon Hooker. Once again, another great pursuit in collaboration with Goldwire. Louisville is starting to strengthen up that defensive line. We knew this would come.
Hokies now have 3rd and 11 coming up. Not quite in comfortable field goal range, would be a 53-yard kick for Brian Johnson at this point. 3rd and 11, ball on the left hash, 3 receivers in the formation. Hooker in the shotgun. Blackshear to his right. Snap. Has time. Looking now, trying to run with it. Will throw at the last second and hits Tavion Robinson inside the 25. A huge contested catch from the true sophomore, and the Hokies convert on 3rd and long.
Wow, he threw that into triple coverage on that one. Didn't look like a great decision, but Tavion Robinson is able to find the ball at its high point and able to corral it for what should be a first down for Virginia Tech.
Had the safety Russ Yeast on his back there. Flag does come in. Not sure what that one was for. 1:28 left, and it's coming back. Still no real clarification here. Maybe a hold on the Hokies, and I believe that's what it's going to be. So holding on Luke Tenuta brings that play back. 3rd and 21 coming up. Hokies well out of field goal range now. Hooker in the shotgun, looks to the sideline for the play. Smith, Robinson, James Mitchell, and Trey Turner in there, all spread out wide. Herbert moves from right to left of Hooker. He'll get the handoff moving right sideline. Tries to cut back. Dorian Etheridge is there, and he'll, along with another group of Cardinals, brings him down in the backfield right around midfield. And the Hokies played conservative there and lose yardage, going to have to punt this one away.
Yeah, once again, a penalty shoots the Hokies in the foot. That was the theme last week where they had over 100 penalty yards. Luke Tenuta, is finally able to come back after some COVID-related issues earlier in the season at that tackle position. Obvious holding call for the official, and that just stalled out Virginia Tech. And now they're forced to punt. Louisville will get the ball back as they elect to take a timeout to conserve some time. Louisville, you just want points. If it's a field goal, if it's a touchdown, you want to keep the game close going into the second half because, you can see all those players out there missing on the defensive end, and to only hold Virginia Tech to 21 in the first half, and it looked like it could be a barn burner after that first quarter. I think if you're Louisville and Scott Satterfield, you should be content with where you're sitting at.
Cardinals will get the ball back here as Bradburn comes out to punt. And we were talking about last Saturday where the Hokies lost at least 3 points against Wake Forest with the Hooker pick. You'd have to think that Luke Tenuta holding penalty counts about the same, as Hokies would have been well inside Brian Johnson's field goal range. Bradburn boots this one away. Burns stepping up to about the 15-yard line. Fair catch, and he takes it there. So the Cardinals get it back. 46 seconds left. Louisville with 2 timeouts. A chance maybe if they can get a big play to possibly put a field goal on the board, but you would think Louisville probably going to play a little conservative here. They've turned the ball over twice in this half. Don't want to give the Hokies anything at the end here that might put them out of this game.
Yeah, I could see, a mixture of running to Hawkins to see, kind of testing the waters to see if they get anything positive. Obviously, be on the lookout for Tutu Atwell, always a big play threat, similar to Trey Turner on the other side of the ball for the Hokies.
Atwell in the slot to the near side. Cunningham claps his hands, takes the snap. Draw play, but nowhere to go. Wrapped up in the backfield, big Josh Fuga makes the play. A loss of 5, and now you would think maybe the Cardinals elect to just let this one go into the locker room. We'll see. Clock running under 30 seconds now. 21-7, Virginia Tech leads. Cunningham is giving orders to his offensive line here. Under 20 seconds now. 4 receivers in the formation. Cunningham will run at least one more play here. Snap. Throws. Left side. Almost intercepted. Tisdale knocked it away from his own man, Breon Murray, who jumped the route perfectly. Almost a ginormous mistake from the Cardinals that would have given the Hokies points at the end of the half.
Yeah, that was just not a great play from Cunningham. I think if you're at Louisville, you have to just take a knee on this one and take it to the second half. 8 seconds remaining. You'd have to go 90 yards. A very dangerous play if you're Louisville.
3rd and 15. Handoff. Hawkins has room up the middle. Up to the 30, 35, 40. Now he has room. It's a foot race to the end zone. Does Dorian Strong have the angle? No. Javian Hawkins on the last play of the first half goes 90 yards to the end zone. And wow, what a gut punch for the Hokies there. Thought they were going into the locker room with a 2-score lead, and now Louisville right back in it.
Absolutely deflating if you're Virginia Tech and Justin Hamilton. You play beautiful first down and second down coverage, limiting Louisville to a net gain of -5, and then all of a sudden you're playing prevent defense, and Javian Hawkins, a very conservative draw play, is just able to make one man miss in the secondary, and there is nobody home for Virginia Tech. We had talked about all the first half how great Virginia Tech's rush defense was, and the second they go into pass defense, it all breaks down, and Virginia Tech, a colossal mistake, keeping Louisville around in this game heading into halftime.
James Turner kicks the extra point through. It is a 7-point game. What a finish to the first half there. Javian Hawkins had been shut down all game long. He had just 24 yards rushing on 10 carries before that 90-yard scamper down the left sideline for a touchdown. We're going to take a quick break here and get back for some halftime coverage. Virginia Tech leading Louisville 21-14. You're listening to 3304 Sports. Welcome back as we hit halftime in Louisville between Virginia Tech and the Cardinals. 21-14, the Hokies lead. Jake Lyman, Clint McLeod with you. And Clint, it's 21-14. It probably shouldn't be. A 90-yard run from Javian Hawkins at the end of that half brings the Cardinals right back in this game when the Hokies dominated for probably 28 minutes of that first half.
Yeah, if you look at Hawkins' running yards before the 90-yard run, 10 rushes for 24 yards, he'd been bottled up. And now if you look at his stats, 11 rushes, 114 yards, you thought he'd be running all over this Virginia Tech defense. I like prevent defense as a way to stop the pass, but it was a simple conservative draw play with 8 seconds left after Malik Cunningham had almost been picked off for a third time the play before. He makes Ashby and Connor miss, in that secondary, and then nobody's home. So it was just an unbelievable run by Hawkins, almost bailing out this Louisville team who had struggled this entire first half. Virginia Tech has a perfect passing rating, 134 yards rushing. 2 mental mistakes from Virginia Tech under 2 minutes. That holding call from Luke Tenuta that would have, that kicked Virginia Tech out of field goal range, and then a 90-yard touchdown run on the last play of the first half.
It was 3rd and 15, 8 seconds left. All the Hokies had to do was bring the ball carrier down anywhere, and you're probably getting out of that half still up 14 points, but the Cardinals able to get it across the goal line, and it is a 7-point game here on Halloween. A scary end of the first half for Virginia Tech, but before that, it was a great first half for the Hokies. They turned the ball over twice, They forced 2 turnovers from Malik Cunningham, 2 interceptions. Probably could have been 3, like you mentioned there at the end of the first half. And Hendon Hooker doing all he can for the Hokies, 6 of 6 in the air and 3 touchdowns on the ground.
If you're Virginia Tech, what's done is done. What's great is that they get the ball to start the second half, so you don't need to put your defense back out there after a deflating rush like that. They were in it all the way until the end. You could see Dorian Strong had a good angle coming down into the 20, but Javian Hawkins, 5'9", 196 pounds. He's just too quick, but Virginia Tech, you get the ball to start the second half. You need to use up the clock, run the ball with Herbert, find some easy plays with Hooker. You need to almost reinvent your offense because, it doesn't matter offense, defense, up big, tie game, a 90-yard rush to end the half. You have to sit on it for 25 minutes. I think that's going to weigh heavily on Justin Fuente's minds and Justin Hamilton. You just need to find a way to get past it.
Hokies were up 21-0 at one point, but the Cardinals have clawed their way back in, and they'll have an opportunity in the second half to try and get a win when it seemed like the Hokies were really just going to pull away with this one. Like you mentioned, Hokies will get the ball to start the second half, and they will need to answer there as the momentum has completely shifted to the Cardinals' side. We'll be back with second half action. Clint McLeod will handle the play-by-play duties in this second half, and the Hokies will try and extend their lead as they start the second half. You're listening to 3304 Sports.
Hello and welcome back for our third quarter coverage for 3304 Sports, virtually from our homes in Blacksburg, Virginia, but this one obviously being played in Louisville, Kentucky, as the Virginia Tech Hokies hold a 21-14 lead still at the half over the Louisville Cardinals. Jake Lyman, Clint McLeod, and Jake, it should be at least 21-7. Louisville on the backs of Javian Hawkins, able to get a literal last-second touchdown.
Yeah, you don't see it too often at the end of halves where you just get a huge breakaway touchdown. But Javian Hawkins just found a seam and just outran everybody to the end zone. A huge play just really turned this game on its head. It could really be 28-7 because the play before that, Alan Tisdale knocked a pick 6 away from Breon Murray that probably would have gone back to the end zone. So it definitely flipped this game, but Hokies getting the ball, a chance to flip the momentum back.
If you're Virginia Tech, you get the ball to start the third quarter, so some, momentum able to rejoin as a pooch kick, corralled by Keyshawn King, fumbled his first one. You could see wrapped a little bit of 2 arms around that one to protect it, but a great starting field position for Virginia Tech as they start at their 37.
Yeah, they need to get something going offensively here. We saw in their last drive of the first half a Luke Tenuta holding penalty brought back a big first down from Hooker to Tavion Robinson that would have put points on the board. Hokies need to stop having those big killer penalties and get back to what they were doing early in that first half, which is give it to Khalil Herbert and make the big plays downfield with Trey Turner.
Hendon Hooker in the backfield, hands it off. No play action fake to Herbert on the first play and is immediately dropped in the backfield by the Louisville defense. That is Marlon Character coming from his safety position. So Louisville able to get a sack on the first play of the second half.
Yeah, that's a huge play from Louisville there. Character just coming off the edge. Nobody saw him. Herbert tried to get a chip on him at the very end, but too late, and Hooker goes down.
Hooker in the backfield now, split with 2 wide receivers on the near sideline. Herbert to his left takes the snap, play action fake, 2-step drop over the middle to James Mitchell, complete at the 50-yard line. First down and more. James Mitchell, the exciting tight end, goes for 24 yards to Louisville 46.
Hokies with a pipeline of tight ends over these last couple of years, and James Mitchell might be the best of them all. Just a great play to get open there and find his way across midfield. He's always there, always reliable for Hendon Hooker, and an easy play for a big game.
First down and 10 for the Hokies in Louisville territory at the 46-yard line. Only about a minute and a half gone here in this third quarter. First down and 10. Hooker takes the snap, hands it straight off to Khalil Herbert, bounces off the right guard, able to find a seam and get down to about the 41-yard line. Looked like he was going to be dropped behind the line, but bounces right off of Darrisaw for a gain of 5.
Herbert does such a good job of that, being patient as he tries to find those gaps. And even if it's not a big play, he can turn that 1 or 2 yard gain into a 5-yard gain like we just saw.
Herbert gets a well-deserved rest as Raheem Blackshear now is in with the pistol, as Hooker, of course, still in the backfield. Tavion Robinson at the top of the screen, hands it off left to Blackshear, able to make a man miss. So speedy on that outside edge and able to get the first down. Raheem Blackshear running well so far in this second half.
It has to be tough for these Cardinals defenders trying to bring down Khalil Herbert and Raheem Blackshear. They're just so slippery in space. Whether they make you miss, they stiff arm you, they run through you, they can do it all. And this Hokies running game, with those 2 guys in the backfield and the vice squad up front, it's so tough to stop.
Raheem Blackshear, coming off of the transfer from Rutgers, was expected to split carries with Khalil Herbert. Obviously, Khalil Herbert has asserted himself as the dominant number 1, but Raheem Blackshear able to come in when Herbert needs a break and still run effectively, something that Virginia Tech has not had in recent years in a 1-2 combo. Blackshear still stays in the backfield as a design quarterback draw. Hooker makes a man miss and is dragged down by his jersey. A beautiful move by Hooker, and he gains about 4. Brought down once again by Character looking for the sack, but can only tug him by his jersey.
Character with a great job there, able to just hang on for dear life and keep him from getting away into the secondary. Hooker had a big hole after making Character miss, but wasn't able to break away. But a modest 4-yard gain there.
Setting up Virginia Tech in 2nd and 6 in the plus territory at Louisville's 30-yard line, looking to once again capitalize to increase this lead. Quick snap to Hooker, hands it off on the jet sweep to Robinson, going left at the 20. He's at the 15, the 10, the 5. Robinson at the pylon. The referee calls him out at the 1-yard line. 1 yard short. Tavion Robinson, so explosive. We usually see Trey Turner on that jet sweep. This time, it's Robinson.
Well, you know, Brad Cornelson loves his jet sweeps, and that one worked to perfection. Robinson just 1 step away from getting himself into the end zone. Hokies with 1st and goal from the 1.
Hendon Hooker has 3 rushing touchdowns already, 1 rushing touchdown away from the record for Virginia Tech quarterback in a game. He takes it in the shotgun, now hands it off. Trey Turner running left, is able to make a cut. 1 touchdown, Virginia Tech. Trey Turner, a 1-yard rush running left, and Virginia Tech is able to respond immediately in this 3rd quarter.
And that's what the Hokies needed right there. Justin Fuente not pleased heading into the locker room with the way the Hokies handled that 90-yard touchdown run from Javian Hawkins, but the Hokies offense comes out here and answers a huge touchdown drive and puts them right back where they should be.
Brian Johnson's extra point is up and good. He has not missed an extra point at his tenure at Virginia Tech, but on the previous 2 rushing touchdowns from Hendon Hooker, I noticed that he faked the jet sweep to Trey Turner. This time hands it off. The defense sold out on Hooker, looking for his 4th, and Trey Turner finally able to capitalize. No receiving touchdowns this season, but finally able to get in the end zone, this time rushing the ball. Virginia Tech leads 28-14. We'll take a break for 3304 Sports and Virginia Tech football. Virginia Tech 28, Louisville 14. Welcome back to Louisville, Kentucky, as Virginia Tech, a 7-play, 63-yard drive in just under 4 minutes, able to respond after giving up a 90-yard touchdown to end the first half, as John Parker Romo, no surprise here, sends a booming kick into the end zone, elected to be returned, as Louisville loses 6 yards compared to what they would have had if they took a knee, as Keyshawn Artis, wearing number 25, Frank Beamer's number this week for his play on special team, comes up with a tackle at Louisville's 19-yard line, and that is where Malik Cunningham and crew will take over their first drive of the second half after having that 90-yard touchdown. Almost seemed as a bailout. Jake, what do they do to kind of keep that momentum but have a consistency to it?
Well, you hope that Javian Hawkins has some confidence once again. He was stuffed pretty much every time he touched the ball in the first half. Finally got one to break, and we'll see what he does here in the second.
In the pistol, first play handing off to Hawkins. Explosive running right, brought down by Ashby and Charmani Connor. That entire first half we talked about up until that 90-yard run. Hawkins had been shut down, but now with the first carry running hard, a 5-yard gain, something that was very rare for him in that first half.
It just seemed like there was a swarm of Hokies already at the ball every time he touched it. Nowhere for him to go, and now it seems like maybe this offensive line is starting to gel a little bit and give him a little bit more room to try and dance and find some holes.
Malik Cunningham in the backfield. Twin wide receivers to his left and right. Fakes the play action. Drops back. Fires left down the near sideline to Des Fitzpatrick. He's able to hold on to this one for a gain of 25 yards to midfield. As finally, Des Fitzpatrick, we haven't heard his name very much except for the interception in the first half. Finally able to corral it right on the sideline, splitting the defenders of Connor and Strong.
And a great job there by Cunningham. Just dropped it in right over the top into the hands of Fitzpatrick. Cunningham has had his struggles today, but he seems to have started to find a little rhythm with his passes downfield.
In the pistol formation, they bring in Ian Pfeiffer, the twin tight end set, a heavy run offense as Hawkins runs left and is absolutely stuffed, picked up on that play by Amari Barno. As for no gain, and Hawkins only 5'9", easy to wrestle around when you're able to get your hands on him, and that's exactly what Barno did.
Well, Barno's 6'6" with a giant wingspan, so a little bit of an easy play for him to just step out there and engulf him in a hug. And no gain there for Hawkins once again. That's what we've been used to seeing when Hawkins touches the ball.
Barno making the play. The redshirt junior played at Butler Community College. Is able to have been a huge impact player with missing of Emmanuel Belmar today. Cunningham in the backfield with Hawkins to his right. Two-step drop looking for pressure as he steps up and is able to scramble away for about 3 yards. Pushed out of bounds by Alan Tisdale. It looked like Justice Reed almost had his third sack of the day.
Yeah, Reed, he had his first 2 sacks were in that NC State game in the opener. Just half a sack in the last 4 games. He's been all over the field today trying to get after Malik Cunningham.
Cunningham finally with some pocket awareness, able to step up, something we had not seen in that first half, was able to gain positive yardage and sets up a manageable 3rd down and 6. 3 receivers set in the pistol. Cunningham takes a snap, designed roll right, fires over to Atwell, and he's able to get the first down with Divine Diablo in the area. Once again, Virginia Tech gets pressure, but cannot bring down the speedy Malik Cunningham as he's able to find Tutu Atwell for his 3rd catch of the day for a first down.
Lots of playmakers on this Cardinals offense. You look at Atwell and Fitzpatrick and Hawkins and even Cunningham at quarterback, and sometimes it's just too much for this Hokies defense to contain, and that happened there on that 3rd down.
About 8 minutes remaining here in this 3rd quarter. Once again in the pistol, the twin tight end set. Hands the ball off to Hawkins running left, and he is stuffed once again. Alan Tisdale, we have called his name so many times this game, primarily on that 4th down stop. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him in 25 next week, but Alan Tisdale making his name heard early and often in this 3rd quarter.
And Tisdale was more expected to be a backup, kind of a rotational linebacker with Rayshard Ashby and Dax Hollyfield as the starters, but he has gotten almost every snap in this game because he has played that well everywhere on this field, and another tackle for loss there.
You haven't seen much of Hollyfield this game, but Tisdale making a name for himself as Cunningham drops back, fires over the middle. It is caught by Tutu Atwell. The 5'9" receiver has to make himself over 6 feet to get to that one as it was almost overthrown, and another first down for Louisville.
Atwell is a star. I mean, you look at the receivers that we've seen come out of Louisville, most notably Devontae Parker. Atwell's going to be up there by the time he finishes career as one of the greats in Louisville.
Now in the twin pistol with a potential 3rd read option as a play action pass by Malik Cunningham, dropping back, senses pressure, rolls to his left, pursued by Connor. He's at the 15, he's at the 10 and out of bounds. Another first down for Malik Cunningham, this time using his legs.
Yeah, Jamari Connor was indecisive there, didn't want to commit fully to stopping the run and let something get over his head in the passing game, but just that kind of indecision there allowed Cunningham to get that edge and get out of bounds with the first down.
Gerard Hewitt for Virginia Tech is returning to this one after he was, ejected last week in the second half because of a targeting call. Another defensive lineman for Virginia Tech returning to the game. He is that prototypical, Virginia Tech defensive lineman looking to plug up that middle as Cunningham drops back, looking left, has nowhere to go as the screen was completely sniffed out by Justin Hamilton's defense as he is forced to throw it away.
Yeah, Roscoe Johnson, the transfer from NC State, was just standing out in the flats, tried to set up a wide receiver screen, but nowhere to go with that one, and now Louisville has 2nd and 10 coming up. You mentioned Hewitt coming back from that targeting call. That's a big addition here especially with the way the Cardinals ended that first half with that 90-yard run. He can definitely help stop Hawkins and clog up some of those rushing lanes.
Louisville now in the red zone, 2nd and 10 from Virginia Tech's 13. Hands the ball off, running straight up the middle is Hawkins, and he's able to gain another solid 5 yards. Another read option on that one, and this time Cunningham elects to hand it off to Hawkins as he scampers inside Virginia Tech's 10-yard line to the 8-yard line, tackled by Charmani Connor.
Big 3rd and 5 coming up. Hokies trying to avoid getting this back to a one-score game. They just had that huge answer on their first drive of the third quarter, but the defense has looked a little bit less consistent than they did in the first half. Need a big stop here.
Under 6 minutes here in the third quarter. A hard count from Malik Cunningham looking to the sideline for a play. 6 seconds on the play clock. Now down to 5. 4 needs to get the snap off. 2, 1. And if they got a timeout, it would have been before the play clock expired. Otherwise, it is a delay of game. And it appears they do get the time off in time. A heads-up play by head coach Scott Satterfield, because those 5 yards are so crucial down here in the red zone.
It is crucial, but that also could come back to bite them if they don't have that timeout late in the game. If the Cardinals are going to come back, it's going to come down to the end of this game. Already just 5.5 minutes left in this third quarter. They're going to have to win this game late, and now down a timeout, possibly going to impact their time management down the stretch.
You know, Malik Cunningham struggled in that first and start of the second quarter through 2 interceptions, but has looked solid so far in this third quarter, Jake.
He really has. He seems like he's come out with a lot more confidence and making a lot better decisions. You know, you look at his first pick, kind of had a pass rusher dive into his legs, couldn't step into it, and overthrew his receiver. And then the second one was just a poor decision. Shouldn't have thrown that with 3 Hokies over on the screen pass. But besides those 2 throws, really Malik Cunningham has looked pretty solid through the air. Really hasn't gotten much going on the ground, so maybe we'll see him get some more designed quarterback runs that could open up that aspect of this Louisville offense.
You know, Cunningham has 6 rushes for 21 yards. Obviously the long being the 10 earlier on this drive, 12 for 18 passings, the 2 interceptions, and 172 yards through the air, and the lone passing touchdown for the Cardinals. But Malik Cunningham has been, you know, really good so far this season, outside of a really bad performance against Pittsburgh where he threw 3 interceptions. The redshirt junior from Montgomery, Alabama, is looking for that breakout performance as the Cardinals are coming off an extremely efficient 8-5 season, looking to improve on that.
Yeah, he's looking to join the ranks of Louisville quarterbacks that we've seen in the past. We're looking at Teddy Bridgewater, who's now starting for the Carolina Panthers, and obviously Lamar Jackson, the Heisman winner, the NFL MVP, all of the accolades that he's gotten. And McHale, like you mentioned, had that really rough game against Pitt through 3 interceptions. But since then, he's stepped up over 600 yards passing and 5 touchdowns with 139 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns in those past 3 games. So he's really bounced back well, and I think that throughout his time here at Louisville, he could step up and really be a huge factor for Scott Satterfield and this Cardinals offense.
You know, Satterfield, coming over from Appalachian State, has spent 23 years there, was also a quarterback there, so really knows how to develop those quarterbacks, and he has developed Malik Cunningham over these past 2 seasons, and looking to improve on that. Louisville had lost 4 in a row, had looked like they were going to be the bottom feeders of the ACC, but came off a huge victory last time out, and, you know, is finally able to slowly start to put the pieces together. As we re-enter play, 3rd down and 5 at the Virginia Tech 8-yard line. Coming in motion is Atwell, a double reverse fake. He looks to throw it, and that ball is incomplete as Malik Cunningham had not even turned around yet, was completely blown up by Virginia Tech. If I remember correctly, Virginia Tech ran a similar play against Boston College where Hendon Hooker was on the receiving end.
Yeah, the Philly special seems to just keep getting rotated around, and that was the Cardinals' variation of Philly, but Cunningham wasn't really looking for the ball there. A really tough throw for Braden Smith. Taking a shot, had to throw it to the far side of the field. Probably wasn't going to work out there, and 4th down coming up.
And you know, the Virginia Tech defensive lineman that really blew that up, Gerard Hewitt, already making a huge impact on this first possession. 4th down and 5, Louisville elects to go for it. Designed roll to the right for Cunningham. Looking for a receiver, still looking, fires to the end zone. It is intercepted by Charmani Connor. The 3rd interception of the game for Malik Cunningham comes at a cost down near the goal line. Charmani Connor coming up huge for the Virginia Tech Hokies.
And a great play by Rayshard Ashby, stepping up and hitting Cunningham, not allowing to get a clean throw off. Hokies step up huge in the red zone, and now an opportunity to really put this one away.
You know, Cunningham almost had to force the ball, was being pursued by Ashby, had no other avenue for pursuit, as Virginia Tech played almost near perfect red zone defense in the end zone. No matter what, it was going to be a turnover on downs. Unfortunately, it's just another notch in that interception column for Malik Cunningham, his third of the game. This is the second time this season he's thrown 3 interceptions. You know, despite throwing 13 touchdowns on the year, now he's climbing up to 8 interceptions, where on the opposite sideline, Hendon Hooker has only thrown 3.
And they all came in one game, so Hooker, now that becomes the key for the Hokies here, is take care of the football. You cannot have any turnovers. The Cardinals have made their mistakes, and the Hokies have taken advantage of them. Do not give the Cardinals a chance to get back in this game, and if they could put the ball in the end zone again here, I think that might be about it.
You know, I think Virginia Tech has also gotten extremely lucky with some of their fumbles. They put the ball on the ground twice so far. An early first series carry from Hooker that bounced right to the left tackle, and then once again trying to return a kick. Keyshawn King put it on the ground, but Hollyfield was able to pick it up. So Virginia Tech has able to get some breaks in the turnover battle, but now needs to capitalize, especially at least draining some clock here to take it to the fourth quarter.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Hokies' ideal scenario here is a long 8-9 minute touchdown drive here that really puts it out of reach. If you can give the Cardinals the ball back and you're already a few minutes into the fourth quarter, down 3 scores, it's going to be very tough for Louisville to get back in the game.
You know, to get back, you know, as Virginia Tech for that long touchdown drive that will rely heavily on the shoulders of Khalil Herbert. 11 rushes, 82 yards. You know, he eclipsed 80 yards rushing about midway through the second quarter, and we really haven't called his name since. What does Virginia Tech need to do to get the ball back in the hands of their playmaker?
I think they just need to feed the beast, you know. The juice is loose, as they like to refer to Khalil Herbert in Blacksburg, and I think if you just feed him the ball on this drive, he's not going to disappoint you. He'll do exactly what they need you to do, and that's, you know, get 4 or 5 yards a carry. I think that's exactly what Khalil Herbert is designed to do, and if he breaks one big, then that would be ideal as well.
You know, on the opposite side for when it comes to passing, Hendon Hooker is still perfect. 7 for 7, 117 yards. He's only completed the pass to 2 receivers, and that's Trey Turner and James Mitchell. Should have been Tavion Robinson, but called back via penalty. But Hooker looks really solid to start. He has not been forced into very many pass down situations.
No, he hasn't. And having Hooker really not having to throw the ball all that often has been a plus for the Hokies. Justin Puente always preaches efficiency in the passing game, and the Hokies have been exactly that.
Virginia Tech on their own 4-yard line needs to get some breathing room, as Louisville's obviously looking for a safety to stay in it. Handing the ball off to Herbert over the right guard, finds some room, sheds a tackle, and finally dragged down by C.J. Avery after a gain of 8. Running behind that, you know, vice squad offense of Brock Hoffman and company, able to find some room for Khalil Herbert, now up to 95 yards rushing.
Yep, that's exactly what they need Herbert to do. Just get those kind of runs, be patient, and find a little bit of yardage. And if the Hokies can get that 10, 15 times on this drive, they would be very, very pleased.
2nd down and 2. Trey Turner coming in motion from the top of the screen to the bottom, handing off to Herbert, running strong, able to find a hole, gain of 5, 1st down Virginia Tech. You could see a beautiful seal by Christian Darrisaw. Allows Herbert to sneak through that defensive front and gain more positive yardage as Virginia Tech has passed their 10-yard line.
And Cardinals may be lucky that Marlon Character was able to get that stop there, because there was a lot of room in that secondary with a few blockers out front. Herbert gets dragged down by his shoelaces, and possibly a big stop there.
Hendon Hooker in the shotgun once again, flanked by Herbert. Nick Gallo in motion, the backup tight end. Another handoff to Herbert running left. A defender falls, and he's able to capitalize as he is shoved out of bounds by C.J. Avery, but not before he gains another 6 yards. 2nd down and 4 now for Virginia Tech. Khalil Herbert, legs churning, all positive yardage.
Yep, he's already put up 21 yards in these first 3 carries. Just exactly what the Hokies wanted here. I mentioned before the break, you want a 8 or 9 minute drive here for a touchdown, and Hokies seem to be following that plan so far.
Hendon Hooker still in the backfield with Khalil Herbert. A fake handoff to Herbert. The defense sells out for Herbert, and now Hooker able to scamper up for a gain of 2. You could see just the entire defensive line collapsed on Khalil Herbert, allowing Hendon Hooker to sneak through for a gain of 2, setting up a very manageable 3rd down and 2.
And a good job by that Cardinals defense, able to contain that. Hooker did a good job pulling it, but there was still nowhere to go after he was able to get across the line of scrimmage.
Now Virginia Tech 3rd down and 2, about 3 minutes remaining here in this 3rd quarter. Still backed up inside their own 25, as able to eat up some clock, but started at their own 4-yard line. Hooker with receiver in motion coming from the right side, takes the snap, designed roll to the right, pulls it back, fires across the middle to Nick Gallo, the backup tight end. He's at the 30, the 35, and is dragged down at the 37-yard line. Nick Gallo, the backup tight end, gets his first reception of the day, and 1st down for Virginia Tech.
And that's the Dalton Keene play we saw a lot of the times last year. I believe it happened a few times against Miami when Dalton Keene had 3 touchdowns. Nick Gallo taking that role, just sneaking out to the far side of the formation and making a nice throwback play.
You know, the sophomore, he's the younger brother of former Virginia Tech center Eric Gallo, gets his 6th catch of the season. Play action fake across the middle. Tavion Robinson makes the catch and absorbs a big hit, but able to hold on for another 1st down and 10. You know, we talked about Hendon Hooker, 7 completions to only 2 receivers. Now has gone 9 completions to 4 receivers. So nearly doubling his receiver count in 2 passing attempts.
Starting to spread it around. I believe we mentioned that only 3 wide receivers have caught passes this season. That's Robinson, Trey Turner, and Caleb Smith. So starting to spread it around a little bit more.
Raheem Blackshear takes the carry, running hard right up the middle behind Darrisaw, is taken down by 4 Louisville Cardinals, but gains 7 yards as Khalil Herbert gets a break. But Hendon Hooker still a perfect 9 of 9 passing, 141 yards, has been sacked 3 times in this one, uncharacteristic for someone who is so agile, but is able to spread the love as Nick Gallo and Tavion Robinson now etch their names on the scorecard. 2nd down and 3, play action fake, Hooker rolling right, decides to keep the ball and is able to scamper out of bounds for a 1st down. A beautiful seal by Nick Gallo, enabling his quarterback to get the 1st down.
Hokies are just doing a great job methodically moving the ball down the field. Only 2 plays on this drive, more than 10 yards. Those went for 13 and 11 on the throws to Gallo and Robinson respectively. So they're just moving it down 6, 7, 8 yards at a time.
So far, a 9-play, 60-yard drive, 1st down and 10 at the Louisville 38. Blackshear to his left, takes the handoff running right, and gets absolutely planted at the line of scrimmage. That is Rajay Burns. We've called his name several times, primarily on his sack of Hendon Hooker, but able to come off of his edge linebacker position and drop Raheem Blackshear for only a gain of 1.
Burns, the transfer from Ohio State, making a nice play there. He had 8 tackles last week, and he's stepped up for a few big plays so far today against the Hokies.
You know, the senior from Louisville, Kentucky, you talked about, played for Ohio State, but transferred back to his home state to play for the Cardinals. 2nd down and 9, a play action, but a designed quarterback draw. Hendon Hooker with a little sidestep is able to get inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. It looked like Hendon Hooker was going to be corralled at the line of scrimmage, but a little hesitation move is able to allow him to scamper for 18 yards.
And that's Laceta Smith. C.J. Avery was looking to fill that gap, but Laceta Smith just gets him out of the way. The Vice squad clears a nice hole for Hooker, and that'll end the 3rd quarter. Hokies driving, trying to put this one away.
You know, 10 plays, 78-yard drive has already eclipsed 5.5 minutes as we end the 3rd quarter. We talked about Virginia Tech needs an 8 or 9 minute drive, might not get that far, but is able to end the 3rd quarter, which is extremely important as Virginia Tech, as tradition here, holds up the number 4 as they corral with their huddle for head coach Justin Fuente. But so far, a very solid drive for Virginia Tech. One might consider this potentially a put-away drive.
Yeah, Hokies are doing exactly what they need to do. They're pounding the rock right up the middle, all the way down. They started this drive at their 3-yard line, already into the red zone against Louisville. I said 8 or 9 minute drive because I expected the Hokies to have some issues at some point. They haven't so far, just the 1 3rd down. And they've got a chance to punch this one in and really put this one out of reach.
You know, and that was Virginia Tech's first 3rd down conversion of the game. Has not found themselves in that spot too many often. You know, they had that 4th down touchdown earlier in the 1st quarter. Was able to convert the 3rd down, and now inside the red zone to start the 4th quarter. Well, it's Virginia Tech 28, Louisville 14 on 3304 Sports. We'll take a break, and we'll rejoin for the start of the fourth quarter right after this. Welcome back to our virtual broadcast from Blacksburg, Virginia. Jake Lyman, Clint McLeod along with you for the call. Obviously, this game is in Louisville, Kentucky, and the Virginia Tech faithful are obviously traveling well as Louisville is allowing 30% of occupancy inside Cardinal Stadium. First down and 10 for Virginia Tech at the 19-yard line in the red zone. 28-14 here to start the fourth quarter. Hendon Hooker in the backfield, flanked by Raheem Blackshear to his left. Two receivers, Trey Turner at the top, Tavion Robinson near sideline, hands it off to Blackshear, running left, spin move, gets a block from Hooker, but he is absolutely planted in the backfield. After only a gain of 2 by Russ Yeast. Hendon Hooker downfield to try and make a block, not able to work out as Louisville is able to rally to stop Blackshear.
Yeah, didn't come through with that one, and not a great run there. Hokies had some momentum going in the run game. Don't want to lose that here down the red zone.
Now down to the 18-yard line. It is second down and 9. Still two receivers handed off to Khalil Herbert, running right behind the Vice squad. He's able to gain another short yardage. It looks like maybe 1.5 to 2 yards on the play, bringing a third down and 7 for Virginia Tech. And at this point, any score kind of makes it a 3-score game, a field goal or touchdown. Obviously, Virginia Tech wants a touchdown, but what do they need to do on this third down? What are you looking for?
Just play conservative. The one thing you can't do is turn the football over, and you'd prefer to keep it on the ground, keep the clock rolling. Every second you take off this clock is a second that the Cardinals don't have to come back in this game.
Third down and 7. Hooker in the backfield, flanked by Khalil Herbert, who's moving out in the slot, and Hooker decides to keep it. Spin moves, but is dragged down. It looked like he was already on the ground, and Hooker is looking for a late hit from Jones, but to no avail from the officials. What did you think on that one, Jake?
Yeah, Jones spun him a little bit when he was already on the ground. Maybe could have been a late hit there, but it wasn't clear. Didn't seem like it was meant to be a little bit severe there. He didn't mean to hurt Hooker, so I think probably a good no call.
This looks like it'll be a 30-yard field goal, 31, for Brian Johnson. It is up, and it is good through the yellow uprights. Brian Johnson is able to convert on his 11th field goal of the year, 11 of 14, still perfect in the PAT departments. A great bounce back after missing 2 field goals last week against Wake Forest.
Yeah, he's been good today. Just has done exactly what the Hokies needed him to. They haven't needed him to do much. They haven't needed the 50-yard field goal yet, but he's hit all 4 PATs and he's hit a field goal. Hokies up 17.
Yeah, Brian Johnson is one of the, another one of those Virginia Tech special team kickers that have had this long-standing tradition, obviously starting with Shane Graham, in the 90s. Joey Sly, now the kicker for the Carolina Panthers. Do you think Brian Johnson has the potential to go pro? He has the potential. He has been inconsistent at times, but he hits his PATs.
He does, and I think he has really shown since the Notre Dame game of last year that he does have that ability. He really started to become clutch. He struggled again in that UNC 6 overtime game, missed a couple of ones that probably would have put the game away, but since then he seems to have rededicated himself to the craft. He's got the leg, and he seems to have figured out a lot of the accuracy issues that he was having. So there's a chance. It's tough to get to the NFL as a kicker. There's 32 openings, and usually the guys who get those jobs don't give them away too easily. So it'll be tough, but I think Brian Johnson has just as good of a chance as anybody.
At this point, just give Brian Johnson those chances in training camp. He's been able to prove for Virginia Tech why he deserves the starting position. Head coach Justin Fuente has chosen Brian Johnson over certain kickers that might have a stronger leg, that have decided to transfer out of the program. But Brian Johnson has been that steady, consistent as Virginia Tech, not always able to convert in the red zone, but any points to make it, positive is what you need as Virginia Tech extends their lead to 31-14. But if you're Louisville, didn't surrender a touchdown after the interception. What do they need to do? Still with about 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter, so still have time, but it's slowly creeping away from them.
It's not quite desperation mode yet for the Cardinals, but it's getting close, and I think they have to really open it up. I think the one way that you're going to get back into this game is finding a big play to Tutu Atwell. Atwell has been contained. I mean, he's had a decent game so far, 5 catches, 55 yards, but they need to find him downfield for a big play if they want to get back into this game.
You know, and that all comes on the shoulders of Malik Cunningham. 3 interceptions in this game. You know, uncharacteristic compared to last season, but not a surprise if you're looking at his statistics this season. His second 3-interception game this season compared to Hendon Hooker, who has 3 interceptions all year, which all came last game as John Parker Romo, the kickoff specialist, sends it booming into the Louisville end zone. Once again elected to receive, and once again it appears to be a mistake as John Parker Romo is out there chasing him alongside Divine Diablo, and Smith is pushed out of bounds at the Louisville 18, once again losing about 7 yards from what would have happened if they took the knee. But you know, John Parker Romo, he isn't the place kicker, he's the kickoff specialist, but shows a lot of energy out there.
Yeah, probably shouldn't have taken that one out, and John Parker Romo doing a great job getting downfield. I don't think there's anybody on the Hokies team that doesn't like what John Parker Romo does. He's only out there for maybe 4 or 5 plays a game, but he gives his heart on every single one of them.
In the pistol formation now is Malik Cunningham, a drop back, 3-step drop, avoids the pressure from Hewitt and is able to, it looks like, get back to the line of scrimmage before he's brought down by Rayshard Ashby. That won't go down as a sack because it was no negative gain, but Virginia Tech able to get the pass rush home and force Cunningham to step up in the pocket.
And you see Tywan Garbett is out there right now. We mentioned that he might be playing today. The defensive end opted out of the season and then opted back in, and this is his first time playing.
Cunningham takes the snap, hands it off, going right, and absolutely nowhere to go for Hawkins as he is stuffed for no gain. And Rayshard Ashby, once again, the ball-dominant middle linebacker that has been this prototypical, leading tackler for Virginia Tech. The senior has a lot of potential, 5'10", 245 pounds from Chesterfield, Virginia. A lot of muscle on Ashby.
Ashby's a great player in the middle of that defense. Really just the key for this Hokies team.
3rd down and 10. Louisville is back in their own end zone as Cunningham sends a deep ball down the left sideline. They have Dez Fitzpatrick. Dez Fitzpatrick at the 30. He is chased by Diablo at the 10, at the 5. Touchdown Louisville. 82 yards. Malik Cunningham to Dez Fitzpatrick as the Cardinals claw within 10.
Wow. That's what I was saying, that Louisville needed a big play. I said to Tutu Atwell, but Dez Fitzpatrick works all the same. Quick drives, not taking up a lot of time and getting those points on the board. Louisville right back in it.
A beautiful release from Dez Fitzpatrick. You could see the arm went up 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. He burned Breon Murray with a hesitation double step and no over-the-top help from Divine Diablo in time. And, you could see, Malik Cunningham just let it fly on that one as he had at least 3 steps on Murray as Louisville did exactly what they needed to do. A 1.5-minute drive was capsulated on an 82-yard passing completion for the touchdown as they draw within 10. Virginia Tech 31, Louisville 21 on 3304 Sports. We'll be right back with the conclusion of the 4th quarter right after this break. Welcome back to Louisville as the Cardinals, seemingly out of this game. The first 2 plays of the drive went for no gain, and then an 82-yard bomb by Malik Cunningham to Dez Fitzpatrick, to say the least, as they draw it closer, 31-21, with about 12 minutes remaining. Now, Jake, Louisville has not been able to produce any turnovers, but going back to the defensive side, a lot of their players have been missing. What do they need to do to contain Virginia Tech?
Well, the Hokies have really been good on the ground, and I think that's what Louisville has to stop. I think you have to load up the box, make Hendon Hooker throw it to try and put this game away. Hooker made some mistakes last week. If they can force another one here, this game is far from over.
And it looks like Louisville is lining up for the onside kick, and a smart decision from head coach Justin Fuente as he elects to take the timeout as Louisville looking for that explosive play. A couple weeks ago when Virginia Tech was trailing UNC by a large margin, they were able to sneak an onside kick by to fuel that comeback, obviously falling short, but Louisville looking for some of their own luck, and I think a very well-used timeout for head coach Justin Fuente.
I think so too. Coach Fuente probably won't need to stop the clock at any point. He'll probably take at least one timeout with him after this game is over. So a good use of the timeout there allows him to get his kickoff team or his kick return team ready in case Louisville decides to do the onside kick and try and get that momentum swing.
Now, if you're Louisville, do you just kick it away after Virginia Tech took the timeout, or do you try once again for the onside kick, expecting Virginia Tech to be ready for it?
I think you probably kick this one deep now. If you could have gotten them with the surprise, I think that was probably the only factor that really would have helped Louisville, is the element of surprise. They don't have that anymore. I think you kick it deep.
You know, we'll see what happens as we are now fielding the play outside of the timeout, as Hendon Hooker and company eagerly await on the sideline to once again trying to put a game winning drive, per se, to put the game out of reach. It looks like Louisville is still lined up in the onside kick formation. We will see what happens, as it indeed an onside kick to the right side, pooched and recovered by James Mitchell. An interesting strategy at that. They decided to kick it beyond the initial onside kick recovery team, hoping that some of the speedy special teams players of Louisville could track it down, but Mitchell was able to sniff it out.
Yeah, it's a very non-traditional onside kick there, kicking it behind everybody, but a great job by James Mitchell getting back there, falling on it, and making sure that Louisville isn't able to, find a little bit of a bounce there and end up with really good field position.
And Virginia Tech's field position isn't that vastly affected. They get it at the 31-yard line, almost as if a good kick return. Hendon Hooker looking deep down the middle, finds Tavion Robinson inside Louisville territory, down to the 27-yard line, a 42-yard bomb. I think, onside kick or not, what a huge play. The first play throwing for Virginia Tech. We expected a rush-heavy attack.
That was possibly the best throw I think Hendon Hooker has made in his entire life. 40 yards downfield, just dropped it right in the bucket for Tavion Robinson. Perfect throw, and the Hokies are in business.
Already well within Brian Johnson's field goal range, but the Hokies wanting more as they hand it off to Khalil Herbert, running straight up the gut, finds a hole, and down after a gain of 4 to the Louisville 23, wrestled down by Rajay Burns. But Tavion Robinson, almost non-existent in that first half, got that 28-yard rush early in the third quarter, and now 2 big completions to Robinson, this one going for 42 yards.
Yeah, and that's a huge play there, and now I think the Hokies slow it down. You don't want to score quick here and give Louisville more time. I think you keep the ball on the ground possibly through the end of this drive and just try and take 2-3 more minutes off the clock.
2nd down and 6. Hooker in the shotgun with Herbert to his left. A design quarterback draw to the left. And Hooker sheds 1 tackle, but not able to avoid C.J. Avery, as Avery is able to wrestle him down after only a gain of 1. Had some potential after making Jones miss, but Avery able to come up big with that one.
Yeah, great job by the linebackers there, moving sideline to sideline, making sure Hooker couldn't get the edge, and now a big 3rd and 5 coming up.
3rd and 5 for Virginia Tech. Obviously, you can either extend this to a 3-score game or keep it a 2-score game if they're forced to settle for a field goal. 31-21 Virginia Tech, 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. A fake handoff to Herbert, and Hooker is absolutely stuffed in the backfield, snuffed out beautifully by the Louisville defensive front, and that play action RPO from Brad Cornelison backfires on 3rd and 5.
And that was Avery again, coming right up the middle. He's been such a great player for this Cardinals team since arriving in Louisville, and I think that he possibly just saved the Cardinals' chances to win this game with those back-to-back plays.
41-yard field goal attempt now for Brian Johnson. Not a gimme, but well within his range from the left hash. 4th down and 6. The kick is up. It is straight down the middle like a pencil, and Brian Johnson converts from 41 yards to give Virginia Tech a 34-21 lead. Now, the drive probably went a little bit quicker than some Tech fans would have liked, but points are points, extending it to a 13-point lead.
Yeah, exactly. The Hokies took advantage of the big play from Hooker to Robinson. Probably would have liked to take more time off the clock, maybe get it down into that 6-7 minute range. Obviously would have liked a touchdown instead of a field goal, but now Louisville has to find a way to score 2 touchdowns in these last 9 minutes. Hopefully the Hokies and Justin Hamilton have been trying to stop those big plays on the sideline.
Drive summary, 5 plays, 46 yards, time of possession 2 minutes and 40 seconds. 42 of those 46 yards came off of 1 play, as Hendon Hooker remains perfect on the day. 10 completions, 10 attempts, 183 yards, no passing touchdowns, but 3 rushing touchdowns. Obviously the long being that 42-yard play. We did not hear much from Khalil Herbert, who has now eclipsed 100 yards rushing once again at 107. 34-21 Virginia Tech with about 9:14 remaining. We will have the conclusion of the fourth quarter on 3304 Sports right after this break. Welcome back to our virtual broadcast. Virginia Tech 34, Louisville 21, 9:14 remaining here in this fourth quarter. Louisville's offense has certainly come alive in this second half with a 82-yard touchdown pass, but potentially too little, too late, as John Parker Romo sits a booming 65-yard kick into the end zone, and smartly Louisville does decide to kneel it out and take the ball at the 25-yard line. So if you're Malik Cunningham and company, what are you looking for to start this drive, coming off of a huge big play touchdown, but needing 2 scores?
I think you probably need another big play, and that's kind of been the Cardinals' MO today. Without 2 plays over 80 yards, you're probably not even in this game. So I think they need to get Atwell involved and Fitzpatrick as well. Just try and get big plays downfield with your 2 dangerous receivers.
First down and 10 from the 25-yard line, 9:14 on the game clock, 20 seconds on the play clock. Cunningham once again in his favorited pistol position. Play action fake, a 3-step drop, able to avoid pressure, fires it to the near sideline. It is caught by Tutu Atwell. The official says he got 2 feet in, and he does, down to the 40-yard line. What a concentration play by Tutu Atwell to keep his feet in bounds.
Yep, that's why he's one of the best in the ACC. Great throw, great catch, and now Louisville, I mean, if they go down and put 7 on the board here, it's a 6-point game. So they got to keep making those plays downfield.
Malik Cunningham in the backfield now in the play action pass, a 3-step drop, all the time in the world, fires out to the far sideline, pass complete near the 50-yard line. He is fighting his way, and it appears it will be a Louisville first down, and that is to Justin Marshall, the redshirt junior. We haven't called his name yet so far today. That is only his 6th reception of the year and probably the biggest.
Yeah, Marshall hasn't done much today, but a big catch there. He says his favorite athlete is Devontae Parker, the former Cardinals receiver, and now he wears his number, honoring the great Cardinal wideout.
First down and 10, a flag on the play, but Cunningham running to his left, elects to scamper out of bounds compared to turning upfield, but probably saw the yellow marker and just wanted to stay safe. We will see what the call is. It seems like it's an illegal formation on the Louisville offense, and that will back the Cardinals up 5 yards.
Yeah, that's a tough one there. Moving backwards back into your own territory. Louisville has to score quick here. With only 8 minutes left, Virginia Tech has an opportunity when they get the ball back here to try and put it away. So Cardinals, the more time they have on the clock, the better.
Yeah, we are still first down and 15. Louisville has 2 plays converted so far on 16 yards. And the Cardinals are backed up first down and 15 at their own 46, coming off of the impressive play by Justin Marshall. Under 8 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. It seems like another penalty flag. Both sides are pointing at each other. It seemed like there was a jump on that defensive line. We will see if it was evoked by that offensive line in Bentley. And it appears it will be an offensive false start, continuing to move backwards for the Cardinals. Now it is first down and 20 after the false start.
Yeah, it's Cole Bentley. We were just mentioning Justin Marshall's favorite athlete is Devontae Parker. Well, Cole Bentley's favorite is Eric Wood, the former Louisville center, and he's on the sidelines for the ACC Network today.
Cunningham steps up in the pocket, chased by Tisdale, has to throw it across his body, incomplete. Great pressure by Alan Tisdale. We have called his name quite a lot, usually creating tackles, but this time pursuing Malik Cunningham.
Just flies all over the field. So much speed at linebacker, and that's an aspect that the Hokies don't have when Ashby and Holyfield are on the field together, and I think that's a lot of the reason why he's played so much, because of all the speed on this Louisville team. He's the only one who can keep up.
You know, almost all game we have seen Ashby and Tisdale, not much of Holyfield. Second down and 20. Hurried on the throw is Cunningham, nearly intercepted, but now third down and 20 as the Cardinals were looking to set up the screenplay, and Virginia Tech is able to apply pressure and force him to release it a little bit earlier than he would have liked.
Dangerous pass there, too. Just lofted it up into the flat. If Tisdale was looking, and I may stand corrected here after watching the replay, I think Tisdale may have had a chance at a pick six if he had looked for the ball.
Yeah, it looked like he was just a little bit over his head. It is kind of tough to overthrow Alan Tisdale, but Cunningham put enough air to force it incomplete. 3rd down and 20, 3-step drop. He throws over the middle, pass complete to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick makes a man miss, dives forward, loses the football, but is able to corral it as he was already down by contact, says the official. Gained 17 yards on the play, caught the ball at about 10 yards and able to wrestle an extra 7, bringing up a 4th down and obviously 4-down territory at this point for the Cardinals.
And that's a huge play there. If you don't get 10 yards there, you're probably sending out the punt unit, but now an opportunity to go for it in the Hokies territory. Huge play coming up.
4th down and 3, Malik Cunningham in the pistol. Behind him, Javian Hawkins. 3-step drop for Cunningham. A design quarterback draw at the 40. He finds room at the 30. Flushed out at the 20. He is brought down by Divine Diablo at the 17-yard line. Malik Cunningham using his legs to keep the Cardinals' hope alive here in the 4th quarter as we are under 7 minutes to play. It did not look like a design quarterback draw, but able to step up in the pocket. Good presence of mind and, just able to outrun that Virginia Tech secondary.
Cardinals not willing to give in yet. Down 13 and now just one play away from being right back in it.
1st down and 10 at the Virginia Tech 17. 6:20 on the game clock, 12 seconds on the play clock. Play action fake, he hands it off to Tutu Atwell on the jet sweep. Atwell pursued by Ashby, finally able to be dragged down, but not before a gain of 4 yards down to the Virginia Tech 13. Another great pursuit by Rayshard Ashby.
Great job by Ashby there. Not known for his speed, but got sideline to sideline there. Made sure the speedy Atwell didn't get the corner.
2nd down and 6. Louisville not quite yet in the hurry-up offense. 6 minutes left here in the 4th quarter. 17 on the play clock. Once again, Cunningham is in the pistol. Flanked behind him is Berkeley. Coming in motion is Atwell. Hands it off to Berkeley, running right. Sheds the tackle from Ashby at the 10. At the 5, Connor can do nothing but look as Berkeley scampers into the end zone. Touchdown, Louisville Cardinals, as they draw ever so close to the Hokies with 5:30 remaining in the 4th.
Great job by Berkeley there. Found a seam, and Ashby, known as one of the best tacklers in the entire country, gets stiff-armed to the ground, and the rest is history. He's in the end zone.
There is a flag on the play. We will check that, but at the moment, the touchdown stands, as we have not called Berkeley's name much this season. Traditionally the 3rd down or the 3rd string running back, but able to make his case to be elevated to more carries as he comes up with a clutch touchdown as the penalty is waved off. Apparently it was a missed throw as the Cardinals touchdown will stand, and the extra point is pending. So far 34-27. The extra point is fumbled, and it is no good. The holder is not able to get a hand on it, and Virginia Tech at the moment able to keep the game at 7.
Wow, and how big could that be, dropping it, but a penalty is down on the play. Louisville could get bailed out here.
Yeah, just a miscue by the Cardinals, just dropping the extra point. But we will check on the penalty flag, and it is on Virginia Tech. Louisville gets bailed out. It is a offsides as Louisville will have the retry at the 2-yard line. And now with the offsides, do you go for 2?
I don't think so. Getting it to 6 is more important than getting it to 5. A 5-point lead really doesn't, or deficit doesn't do much for you. But 6, it means that if the Hokies were to score, if you were to score and miss the extra point, you'd still go to overtime.
Which is exactly what the Cardinals are hunting for as the retry is underway. A perfect snap, a perfect hold, and the kick was just inside the right upright. Almost another miscue for the Cardinals, but to no avail, and it is now 34-28. And Louisville coming alive in the 4th quarter, outscoring Virginia Tech 14-6. Jake, what did you like on that drive from the Cardinals?
They made big plays. I mean, the 4th and 3, that's probably the game if Cunningham doesn't get there. But the great draw gets them into scoring position, and then Berkeley finished it off. This game is far from over. The Hokies have let the Cardinals sneak back into this game here in the 4th quarter, and I think if they do lose this one, there's going to be a lot of talk about that 90-yard touchdown at the end of the first half.
5:36 remaining in the fourth quarter. We are far from over as we expect an exciting, electric finish in Louisville, Kentucky. We will have the rest of it on 3304 Sports. Virginia Tech 34, Louisville 28. Hello and welcome back to our virtual broadcast. Jake and I are on our couches in Blacksburg, Virginia, but this game is far from over in Louisville as Virginia Tech 3-2 on the season. Obviously 3-2 in the ACC, have not played any non-conference games. Leads Louisville, but only by 6. The margin was 21-0 at one point. The Cardinals have clawed all their way back as Louisville, non-surprisingly, will set up for the onside kick. 5:30 remaining in the fourth quarter, and it is recovered by Virginia Tech. It looked like Louisville had a chance at it, but it was overrun by the Cardinals, and who else but James Mitchell to corral it for the Hokies. A prayer from the heavens, as you might say.
2 Cardinals right there. Mitchell with a great job to pull it into his body and make sure it didn't get loose, and that's a huge play. If Louisville gets that, there's no momentum left on that Virginia Tech sideline.
You know, it was a perfect kick by Louisville, just was not able to jump on it. Thankfully for the Hokies, the big body of James Mitchell able to corral it. Ever so important. 5:34, first down and 10 at the Louisville 48. Hands the ball off to, no, Hooker keeps it. He fools the cameraman. He's running right, and he gets out of the bounds. The scamper to the 31-yard line, but we will check on the penalty flag, and it's coming back. A holding call on Virginia Tech.
That's tough for the Hokies there. It's Tenuta again who had the one crucial holding penalty at the end of the first half, and that's another big one. Hokies would have gotten themselves into field goal range with that run, and guess what that does? You make a field goal, you probably put this game away up 2 scores. Now you're back in your own territory, and it's first and very long.
Yeah, the holding call from Tenuta wasn't much, but it was a hold as he grabbed the defender's left arm and pulled him away from Hooker ever so slightly. Probably would not have made the tackle on Hooker, but still, a hold is a hold. It is now first down and 20 for the Virginia Tech Hokies. Hooker, play action pass to Blackshear, 2-step drop, looking to his left, evading the pressure, able to step up and scamper. He's at the 50, the 45, makes a man miss, and he's down to the 46-yard line. The 41-yard line of Louisville. A great play from Hendon Hooker, but the down Hokie is big play Trey.
That's tough for Virginia Tech. It looks like possibly upper body. He seems fine with his legs, so tough situation for the Hokies here because he's already missed some time with an injury over the last couple of weeks, and actually it does seem like it is a leg as he's limping off to the sideline, but doesn't seem to be something super serious.
Yeah, it appears he was downfield making the block as Hooker rolled up right behind him. We couldn't see from our angle if it was, a rolled ankle underneath the pile. He is gingerly walking off, a good sign for Hokies fans is he is able to walk off under his own power. But now Hendon Hooker, second down and 3 without his star receiver. 5 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter, 34-28 Virginia Tech. Finally, a handoff to Khalil Herbert running straight up the middle, but stopped. Jared Goldwire, haven't called his name much from the nose tackle position as he comes up with a huge tackle, but a late penalty flag, and Virginia Tech is pointing towards Louisville. We shall see what the call is. This would be huge if it is against the Cardinals.
Seems like it was after the play.
After the play, personal foul. It appears an unnecessary shove on the defense. A back-breaking mistake for Louisville, and head coach Scott Satterfield cannot believe it with his defenders on the sideline.
Yeah, that's Nick Okeke who is going to get flagged for that, the redshirt junior from Tennessee. That's just, you just got to play more discipline in a tight football game than that. Just late in that one, going at it with Brock Hoffman, and Hoffman can get underneath people's skin, and you kind of get that. Maybe a little bit of a dramatic flair added from Hoffman by himself as he went to the ground after that, but a huge play there. Hokies now comfortably within Brian Johnson's field goal range.
Yeah, a little showmanship from Brock Hoffman never hurt as he gains an extra 15 yards for the Hokies as Trey Turner, good sign for the Hokies, are back in the play, in motion, coming to the top of the screen. Handoff to Khalil Herbert running left. Herbert is tripped up in the backfield. A beautiful play by Chandler Jones, the junior from Miami, Florida, comes up huge, stopping Herbert in his tracks at the 24-yard line.
And you look now, under 4 minutes left, so the Hokies have run enough clock here that maybe just 2 more first downs would put this game away just because of the time. Louisville with only 2 timeouts, so Hokies starting to have everything work towards their way. Field goal for sure would probably put this one out of reach.
A 6-point lead at the moment. A field goal would make it 9, a 2-score game. Louisville needs a stop. 2nd down and 10, 3:30 on the game clock. A fake jet sweep, a handoff to Khalil Herbert, running up the middle. He's at the 20. He finds a seam. He's at the 10. Khalil Herbert all the way for the touchdown. Potentially the game sealer. 24 yards right up the heart of the Cardinal defense. Virginia Tech leads this one 40-28, pending the extra point.
That's huge. That should do it for the Hokies, barring another big play if they gave it up. But just a huge play. Hooker handing it off to Herbert, and that's exactly what we've seen from him all year long. He seems to find that one big run every single game. That's the one, and that should be the backbreaker.
Khalil Herbert now eclipsed 130 yards rushing. Virginia Tech will go for 2 to push it to 42-28. As Hooker in the backfield now takes the snap, looking right, fires a fade to Trey Turner. He saves the ball at the high point, and he makes the catch over the defender, and a little showmanship afterwards as Trey Turner connects for the 2-point conversion.
Officials had to break them up after the play. Turner and Character going at it, but Turner gets the best of him there, and now it's a 14-point game. Hokies, you have to feel pretty good about where they stand right now.
I will say Trey Turner's lower body looks good after getting rolled up on Hendon Hooker earlier in the drive. He sees the ball at the high point and is able to leap. Trey Turner's 6'2", deceiving size at 187 pounds, is able to find the high point, and he's able to complete the try to give Virginia Tech a 42-28 lead. But the story is Khalil Herbert, 133 rushing yards on the day, adding another rushing touchdown, his 6th of the season, as Virginia Tech expands this lead, potentially putting this game away. 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, Jake.
Hokies just have to hold on. They've given up 2 plays of 80 or more yards, one of them at the very end of the half when they were in prevent defense, which is, you would assume, what they're going to be in at the end of this one. So Hokies, hold on for dear life and hope that you don't give up another one.
Virginia Tech always had an answer for Louisville, when it mattered most. Able to come up with those 2 field goals at the beginning of the 4th quarter, was hunting for a touchdown and finally found it. As John Parker Romo sends a booming kick, no surprise here, to the 1-yard line, fielded by the Louisville Cardinals, and it is brought out and tackled at about the 23-yard line, and that is Smith bringing it out. And Rosa on the tackle for the Hokies, and Louisville will have 3 minutes to make up a daunting 14-point deficit, as there is a down player for the moment getting checked out, delaying the start, and that is Kenita Jenkins for Virginia Tech, the true freshman safety. We saw a lot of him at the beginning of the season, but Taylor was just able to wiggle his way into that lineup, obviously having one of the 3 interceptions today. So Jenkins has been seen more of a special teams role, but still an impact player in his first career game versus NC State. He had 8 tackles, a bright future for him in Blacksburg, an unfortunate injury, but able to get off and jog off the sideline, so he will be okay, as it seems.
Yeah, it was surprising when Jenkins was listed as the starter coming into the year, and he's done a good job so far.
First down and 10. Cunningham looking for his running back in the flat and just overthrows Javian Hawkins. It is now 2nd down and 10, 3:13 remaining every second. So crucial for Louisville. They only have 2 timeouts, had to burn one early in the 3rd quarter. We talked about it may come back to bite them, and it just might. 2 timeouts remaining, 3:13 on the game clock, down by 14, so obviously needs 2 touchdowns, needing a stop and a touchdown as well. But first need to focus on the touchdown at hand. 2nd down and 10 at the 24. Fires over the middle to Hawkins, and Virginia Tech will take that all day. A 7-yard completion up to the 31, but Virginia Tech wants them to use the time. If they want to take 7 yards completions, Justin Hamilton and company will easily, step back and sit back in that deep zone.
Yeah, the Hokies just want to funnel everything towards the middle of the field. If you want to get 8 yards and go down, that's it perfectly fine by Justin Hamilton.
Cunningham in the backfield, fires it out to Hawkins. 4 yards in the first down, but gets out of bounds for the Cardinals. A very heads-up play instead of trying to wrestle for an extra yard or two. Takes the time and steps out of bounds.
Yep, good play there by Hawkins. Very aware. Gets past the sticks, gets out of bounds. That's exactly what they needed him to do. If Louisville can play towards the sidelines, game's not 100% over yet. They've had 2 practice tries at an onside kick, so they need to get one.
2:20 remaining, first down and 10, and another first down completion out to the sideline from Malik Cunningham, out of bounds for Smith. And it looks like he gains 11 to Louisville's 46-yard line. Another first down for the Cardinals.
Clock running, though. Cardinals need to move a little bit faster here.
Braden Smith, hearing his name called recently, play action pass, under pressure, is able to escape the sack as Cunningham running left at the 50, at the 40, he cuts back to the 35, and finally tackled by Charmani Connor at the 32-yard line. What an escape artist Malik Cunningham is. Breon Murray had a clean shot at him, and Cunningham just ducked.
Murray and DeBose seemed to both hit him at the same time, and just both of them missed.
Hurry up offense now. Quick handoff to Javion Hawkins, running hard. We saw him scamper for that 90-yard run, so why not mix in a little bit of rushing attack down inside the Virginia Tech 27-yard line. A gain of 6, but Louisville is now in the hurry. 1:35 remaining. Second down and 4. Quick snap by Cunningham. A 3-step drop. Looking across the middle. Can't find anyone. Lots of time. Fresh out of the pocket, and he throws towards the sideline to Hawkins. It is caught. Yes, it is caught at the 20-yard line, pushed out of bounds by Breon Murray, but crucial seconds ticking off the clock for Louisville. 1:25 remaining.
Yeah, the decision to run the ball kind of cost them a lot there. It seems like maybe even 30 seconds came off the clock, so that could come back to bite them if they're unable to get the onside kick if they score here.
A breath of fresh air for everyone in the stadium after the last pass went out of bounds. A quick snap for Cunningham. Fires again to the sideline. It appears he will get out of bounds, and that is Tutu Atwell out of bounds. Tackle awarded to Charmani Connor. Second down and 6 at the Virginia Tech 16. Louisville needs to start taking shots towards the end zone now.
Yep, definitely. They need to score as fast as possible. Now, with just 1:21 seconds left, there's no chance that you could get the ball back after if the Hokies were to take the onside kick. So definitely going to need to score fast.
Play action pass. Cunningham looking towards the end zone. That is Fitzpatrick. It is off his hands. Great coverage on that one by Divine Diablo, as it looked like Fitzpatrick just kind of ran out of end zone room, not able to corral that one.
Yeah, not a bad pass from Malik Cunningham there. Put it back towards the back left pylon, but good defense there and kind of forced him towards the sidelines. Couldn't get a good look at it.
Now it is third down and 6 at the Virginia Tech 16-yard line. Virginia Tech needs a stop here to secure the victory. 1:15 on the clock. Cunningham in the backfield, third down and 5. The officials rush out and signal a timeout for Virginia Tech as Justin Fuente and company might want to give their defense a little bit of a break. They have been exhausted this possession.
Yeah, Louisville's been running up and down the field. It seems like, yeah, you just need to give them a little break here before this big third down play. You're 2 plays away from being able to take a knee, so definitely getting a break. Maybe talk about what you want to key on here. Maybe containing Malik Cunningham in the pocket. I think that's going to be a big thing. If Cunningham can get loose, it could be an easy touchdown for these Cardinals.
We heard Justice Reed's name twice in that first quarter, coming up with 2 huge sacks. Have not heard him yet. Expect Justin Hamilton to try and dial up some pressure and force Cunningham into another ill-advised throw. That's where we saw 3 interceptions so far today. Virginia Tech, they'd love a 4th.
Yeah, and we saw the last time that Louisville was in the red zone, not the last time, the time before that, Cunningham threw a pick on 4th down. So definitely if they could force him into a situation where he has to make a quick decision and he might make the wrong one.
It is third down and 5 at the Virginia Tech 16-yard line. Louisville does not need a first down, particularly on this play, because it is obviously 4-down territory, but Malik Cunningham and company need a score as soon as possible. 1:15 on the clock. Cunningham takes the snap, rolling out right. Hurried by Ashby and Barno. Lifts it into the end zone, well out of bounds. No intentional grounding. He was well outside of the tackles, but another great pursuit by Barno, forcing a errant throw from Cunningham.
Yep, now this is the game here. If the Cardinals want any chance of coming back and bringing this one to overtime, they need to convert this fourth down here. The Hokies one stop, and they're taking knees in victory formation.
Virginia Tech's defense has been so solid today outside of those two 80-plus yard touchdowns. Wipe those 14 points off of it, and you think this would be a dominant showing from the defense. They just need one more stop here, 4th down and 5, and Malik Cunningham and company desperately looking for a touchdown with a minute left. Cunningham, 2-step drop, hurried by Hewitt, fires into the end zone. It is caught! Touchdown, Louisville! Javion Hawkins just appears out of nowhere. Justin Hamilton sends the house, and Louisville scores a touchdown, much needed with a minute remaining.
The Hokies sent pressure and almost got there. Taylor missed him. Hewitt couldn't get there. And, of course, at that point, Hawkins is going to be wide open. But so close to getting home and ending this game. Taylor just couldn't get the elusive Cunningham.
Yeah, it looked like Virginia Tech hit the Madden Engage 8. They're leaving only 3 players in back for coverage, and eventually if Cunningham was able to find space, he had Javion Hawkins, and Louisville draws within 7, a minute remaining. Will need the onside kick with a minute and only 2 timeouts. No possibility to get the ball back. Louisville needs somewhat of a miracle to get the ball back. 42-35 Virginia Tech. Now Louisville has come alive in this fourth quarter, 21 points. Virginia Tech has 14 of their own to kind of counteract that, but for Virginia Tech, it's simple as this: recover the onside kick.
You recover the onside kick. I think I misspoke earlier. There is a chance Louisville could get the ball back if you include the 40 seconds that would come off during the play that Louisville doesn't call a timeout. You would be down to about 20 seconds, and if you include the amount of time the plays are going to take, you might get a punt return. But I don't think they will have a play from scrimmage on offense if they don't recover this onside kick.
Definitely not something that Louisville is looking for, as they are looking for this onside kick with desperation. Now Louisville looking to line up now, hasn't broken their huddle yet to show Virginia Tech which side they are looking to kick. Looks like all 11 guys just kind of huddled around the kicker as now they spread out to their positions, and Virginia Tech as well. Everyone is huddled up towards near the 45 and the 50, expecting this onside kick. 1 minute remaining. Louisville needs this recovery to stay alive in this one. Down 42-35. It appears everybody is ready. The officials accept the go, and we are waiting on Turner to kick it. And the onside kick appears to be recovered by Louisville for the moment, but there is a flag. Little do people know that there is a play clock for kickoffs. We will shall see if there is a delay of game. It appears Louisville did not get the kickoff in time on the kickoff. Was able to recover the onside kick, but to no avail.
That's brutal. That was a perfect onside kick. It bounced right into Javion Hawkins' hands.
He had room to run.
Well, it would have been dead as soon as he touched it.
Yeah.
But it was a perfect onside kick. Mitchell had no chance to get to it. Let's see. Did the team stop playing? Mitchell and Hollyfield were converging on it. Maybe they get there if they didn't hear the whistle blow, but that is a tough spot for this Cardinals team to be in.
Louisville will have to try again. Another perfect kick needed by Turner. 1 minute remaining, 20 seconds on the play clock now. It appears they will get it off with plenty of time. A little squib kick right up the middle, and Tavion Robinson dives on it like a soccer goalie as he's able to corral it. Louisville's luck has run out on, when it comes to onside kicks, they were able to recover one, but, it's almost statistically improbable to recover 2 in a row.
The one that didn't count is the one that was the best one they had. I mean, they tried it 4 times, and one was absolutely perfect. Javion Hawkins literally caught it in stride. I mean, it was perfect, but they got it off 1 second too late.
59 seconds remaining. Like you said, there is still a possibility Louisville gets the ball back, but improbable. Hendon Hooker in the shotgun, hands it off to Herbert running up the middle, and he gains 4 yards before being stuffed. An immediate timeout taken by Louisville with 51 seconds. A first down for Virginia Tech would seal it.
So you look at it with 51 seconds left. Let's say the next play takes about 5 seconds, and then the play after that takes about 5 seconds. That's pretty much all you would need to put this game away. I think the Hokies are going to be able to take a knee at some point.
And this is assuming Khalil Herbert doesn't gain a first down while he's at it. You know, how dangerous he is. But looking ahead, Louisville, their ACC struggles will not, stop as they travel to Virginia on November 7th on 8 p.m. primetime football on the ACC network. Virginia having to, have a new quarterback this year, struggled at the beginning of the season, starting to pick up momentum like Louisville. Will host the Cardinals next week. As for the Hokies, they get a non-conference matchup with the undefeated Liberty at Lane Stadium November 7th. It is a noon kickoff on the ACC network, so both teams not done with this game yet, but looking ahead, both difficult tests, equally.
And there's an outside chance Liberty could be ranked heading into next week's game in Lane Stadium, which would be a little bit weird considering where these teams started.
Herbert running left, gets the first down and more. A beautiful block downfield by Hendon Hooker, and Virginia Tech gets the coveted first down with 42 seconds remaining. It does not appear Louisville will take a timeout as the clock continues to tick, as Virginia Tech will have to take one more play as the game clock is at 30 and the play clock is at 25, but Hendon Hooker can just take a knee and win it. Virginia Tech will improve to 4-2 on the season, avenging last week's loss against Wake Forest as they will take on a potentially ranked Liberty next week at Lane Stadium. For the Louisville Cardinals, despite their victory last week, they will drop to 2-5. They have lost 4 out of their last 5 games. Hendon Hooker takes the snap and the kneel with 2 seconds remaining. A little pushing and shoving as Louisville is frustrated, but that will be to no avail as the final score here from Louisville, Kentucky. Virginia Tech 42, Louisville 35. For 3304 Sports, we thank you for coming along the call. Jake Lyman alongside Clint McLeod from our couches in Blacksburg, Virginia. It was a pleasure calling this one. Came down to the wire. Virginia Tech held a 21-0 victory early in the first quarter, but for Louisville, Jake, it was the big play.
Yeah, a lot of fight from Louisville, starting with that Javian Hawkins 90-yard run on the final play of the first half. Just not enough. I mean, you fall behind 21-0 in a game, it's tough to get back into it. Louisville did all they could. Really valiant effort from Scott Satterfield's team, but Hokies did just enough in the second half to pull this one out.
Louisville was able to bring it within 7 with about 5 minutes remaining, but a put-away touchdown by Khalil Herbert and company secure Virginia Tech the win. Another 147 yards rushing for Khalil Herbert, nearly 150 on 21 carries. We said in the open, with the depleted Louisville front 7, Khalil Herbert would need to see about 30 carries. He saw 21, still able to capitalize with 147 in the touchdown. I think Hendon Hooker took a couple of those carries away on those touchdowns, but 19 rushes for 68 yards for Hendon Hooker is not bad either.
Another great rushing performance from the Hokies. Didn't quite get to that 300-yard mark, but close enough as the Hokies continue to be dominant. And Khalil Herbert, he should be considered in that Heisman conversation. He's now over 800 yards rushing in 6 games. I don't see how you can't put him at least in the discussion.
In recent years, it has been extremely difficult for a running back to win the Heisman, as he is going up against the likes of Trevor Lawrence, who will miss 2 weeks with COVID-19. So potentially Khalil Herbert could make up some lost ground because Virginia Tech had lost 2 games to the rescheduling process early in the year. But as we wrap things up for 3304 Sports, Virginia Tech able to force 3 defensive turnovers is the key, as Virginia Tech is able to outlast the Louisville Cardinals' fourth quarter surge. 42-35 for 3304 Sports. We thank you for coming along the call. Enjoy your spooky Halloween. The final from Kentucky, Louisville 35, Virginia Tech 42.